Good afternoon. I'm ready. Are you ready? Testing one, testing one. Good afternoon. Welcome to Donnell Stadium for today's Titanic struggle between the Oilers and the Dragons. It's senior day.
Sauce dripping. Everybody want to start
testing
dipping.
1 2 testing 1 2.
Body pay fee.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Donnell Stadium. It's a GMAC Royal Rumble. Testing 1 2. Audio check from Donnell Stadium. Shout out to all the homies. Well, thanks for noticing, Ron. I've been trying to work on my look. I brought it down a little bit, see if that helps a little bit. Also, I don't have a windscreen on these mics, which might be part of it too. I wonder if there's any in the bag. Not seeing it. Unfortunate. I brought it back down a little bit and gave a little more distance on the mic. Because you know, I'm dope on the floor and I'm magic on the mic. Thank you. You guys give me the signal when you want to go. All right, here we go. Good afternoon and welcome to Donnell Stadium as the Oilers get ready to close out the regular season here on 2019, and they'll do so against a familiar foe, the Tiffin Dragons in town, and a lot of things at stake here, obviously. A possible chance to get into the playoffs, although difficult to be honest. A chance at perhaps the new bowl game. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk about that as well. A chance to send off your seniors in style here. And, of course, the long-standing rivalry of its own against the Dragons that has been dominated by the Oilers over the 27 matchups. Oilers winning 26 of those 27. When you look at these two teams, Oilers come in 7-3 overall, 5-1 in conference play. Meanwhile, the Dragons unbeaten in conference play, 8-1 overall. That lone loss to Saginaw Valley back in week 2. Oilers come in averaging 37 points a game. The Dragons an amazing 43.5 points a game offensively. Oilers giving up just 18. Similarly for the Dragons, giving up just over 18 points a game as well. Rush yardage, the Oilers averaging 233, the Dragons 244, and giving up 131 on the ground. The Dragons only giving up 113 on the ground a game coming into this one. Passing yards, Oilers 223 through the air, 272 through the air for largely Nick Watson on the year. We'll talk more about him in a moment. Meanwhile, the Oilers give up just 214 and the Dragons just 198. So you can see statistically very similar teams. Oilers 456 yards a game to 517, so about a 50-yard difference between those. And what they're giving up, the Oilers give up 345, the Dragons give up 312, about a 30-yard difference between those. A big stat that pays at least forebodes well for the Oilers. They are plus 16 on the giveaway takeaway. The Dragons are at a respectable plus 8. But one of the stats that jumps out at you when you look at these two teams is opponents' record. The Oilers' opponents 44-53, the Dragons 27-60. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Some of the key players to keep an eye out. Jaquan Hardy, who's just under 1,200 yards rushing and 13 touchdowns on the year. The 3-year starter at quarterback who has thrown for over 2,300 yards and 25 touchdowns and limited it to just 8 interceptions. And his favorite target, Stanley Jackson Jr. We'll talk about all those players and more. Right now, we're going to take a 60-second timeout. And when we come back, we'll hear from the head coach of the Oilers, Rob Keyes. You're listening to Oiler Football on 88.3 WLFC.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
Well, everyone, welcome back to the Oiler pregame show as the Oilers get ready to close out the regular part of the season schedule here against an old familiar foe, the Tiffin Dragons, in the war for 224, if you will. And Coach, first let's go back to last week, the miscommunication on our end, and we didn't get a chance to talk to you. A huge victory for your program, 53-18, and huge in so many ways. When you talk about recruiting, when you talk about still having a chance at a conference title at the end of the season, and all the other things that go into that, just a huge win for your program.
Yeah, it was. I really liked the way our guys prepped all week, and we came out and we performed at a very high level. Even though the start wasn't the best, we started off fumbling the first snap of the game, and we ended up punting. They got a short field, but our defense continues to get takeaways. Got a big takeaway from Cade Rogers, but we finished, and that was the biggest difference, I think. Every takeaway we got, we finished with a touchdown. We had a big kickoff return, which led to another touchdown. So it was a lot of good team football, but the guys were really focused. They were excited to play that game. Ashland, I mentioned before, they kind of looked down on us, and it gets a little old, and I said the only way you can settle that is put it on the scoreboard, and they did.
You mentioned the defense, and I really do. I agree with you. They set the tone. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest of offensive series to open the game, but Cade made a great play breaking on that ball. He read it all the way, makes a great play, and then, as you say, you guys turn that into offense, and then it just seemed to keep rolling from there.
Yeah, it was a big momentum swing game. You look at it, everybody thinks, it was a blowout, and the score indicated that, but it really wasn't. It was 20-9 or 20-11 at halftime. So it was a very close game, and we came out and we got a really good big break on the opening kickoff of the second half. We recovered the ball and we scored a touchdown. And I think that was one of the big turning points of the game. But I told our team, I said, you think about it. I said, man, what ifs? But if Ashland, does their job, they get the kickoff and they go down and score, who knows how that game's going to come out. So, but football is a crazy game when it comes to momentum. When you have it, it's tough to stop. When you don't have it, it's tough to get back. So I know that our guys had some momentum, and they took advantage of it, and they capitalized. But very proud of the team. It was a big win. There's no downplaying that. It was a very big win. But the biggest thing that I told our team on Sunday was the faster we turn the page, the better we're going to be. There's no – we can't try to duplicate last week. We can't use any of those points that we had against Ashland or have any of those takeaways. You got to put it aside because everybody's going to pat you on the back. You got to look forward, and you got to get ready for the next game.
Well, and you did get patted on the back. 2 players of the game, offensive player of the game of the week in the GMAC for Nate Slagle, and then defensive player of the week for Chris Jefferson, who's still having an amazing season in your defensive secondary. But again, those are just 2 guys who are part of a bigger thing. Wensler again had another strong, efficient game. The offensive line, as that game went on, took more and more of the game over. Same with the defensive line on the end. Just a great team victory.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, very proud of those individuals that got those accolades for the Conference Players of the Week. But we all know that it is truly a team game, and a lot of people, did a lot of work to allow those guys to perform the way they did. But, I did. I thought it was a very good performance by us, and, we've turned the page, and I said, how much better can we be this week?
All right, let's turn the page with you, Coach. Let's talk about the Tiffin Dragons. Everybody knows the story. 27 times the Oilers and Dragons have played over the years. The Oilers have won 26 of those 27. But the funny thing about it is none of those are going to affect today. No,
and that's what I've preached to our kids, preached to our staff. It really is, the past is irrelevant. It really is. I know that everyone's talking about, you won a bunch of games in a row, you got their number. No, it's a brand new team, especially when you look at Tiffin. It's a brand new staff. They have a lot of new players, got some old players, some familiar faces, but, this is about 2019, and again, both teams have a lot riding on the line.
Dragons come in 8-1 overall, 6-0 in GMAC play, and you do have conference opponents that you can look at commonality, but also you get commonality as well in the Northwood game, for example. How much can you take by looking at how they played against common opponents?
You could get a little, not a ton. The big thing you look at, too, is, you look at Northwood. That was decades ago, it seems like.
Right.
We played them so early in the season. They played them week 1. Both teams are totally different. As the season goes, you morph and you keep tweaking things. And you become a different team. as the 11 games kind of go through, and we've done that, and Tiffin's done that. You handle injuries, you handle different situations, you handle guys, raising the level of play, you handle some guys maybe aren't doing their job, and you kind of shift pieces around. So it's two very, very different teams than it was week 1, week 2. I know that looking at them in the past couple games is what I really take the most. In the past couple games, they've really been firing on all cylinders.
You mentioned new coaching staff, new head coach, and Chris Reisert, who comes over from Ohio Dominican, where he'd been helping run the offense there for the last few years. And then, as you said, he kind of changed out the whole thing. And with that, you got to think to some degree, maybe a mind shift or an emphasis shift in the program.
Yeah, I mean, he has done an unbelievable job in his first year as a head coach. He's lost one football game, and that was early in the season. But since that loss, they have been on a roll. They have pretty much handled everybody with not much problems. And, it is. It's and not just him, but the whole coaching staff. Like I said, you could tell that, Gary Goff, give a ton of credit to him for recruiting all these guys to come to University of Tiffin. But as you look through it and you watch how Chris has kind of taken his team now and kind of put his stamp on it, they're as advertised. And like I said, we're going to have to be at our very best to win this one.
Talk about some of the key players. Jaquan Hardy, the numbers are impressive. 153 carries, just under 1,200 yards, 13 touchdowns, averaging 7.8 a carry. Those numbers are good. I don't care who you're playing against, who you have played against. Those are impressive numbers.
Yeah, the thing with Jaquan, he's never down. It just seems like every time that people have him almost to the ground, he pops out. He ends up getting big runs. He's pretty much muscle from head to toe. He's about 220, 225 pounds. And he's so dynamic when it comes to the way he runs. He's explosive. He's got exceptional balance. But his strength and his ability to keep his feet moving and turn really no plays into big plays is what impresses me the most.
One of the familiar faces you mentioned, Nick Watson back, the quarterback, and he seems to have settled down. He's always had the talent, I think, but sometimes when you watched him in earlier years, he'd get a little anxious in spots. He seems much more comfortable this year.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a 3-year starter, you should feel a lot more comfortable. He's played a ton of games. He's played in big games. There's nothing he hasn't seen over his past 3 seasons, and he keeps getting better. I mean, that's what you expect out of anybody that's in the program for a while, especially a successful one. They've won a ton of games. Tiffin's won more games in the last 4 years than any other team in the GMAC. So you know what type of team they have, and Nick Watson's been at the head of that.
Meanwhile, you look at the receivers, and they have a group of receivers who are very good, but the guy who tends to jump off the page and appears to be the favorite target, Stanley Jackson Jr., just under 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, averaging 122 receiving yards a game. That's impressive, too.
Yeah, their whole receiving core is exceptional. I like them all. Gavin Woods, Butler, and then you have, you mentioned Stanley Jackson. I mean, Stanley's, such a big athlete. He's 6'2 plus. He's 215 pounds. He reminds you of a Jason Moore type body. Jeremiah Jackson, his brother, plays for us. So Stanley's been around. I get a chance to talk to him. And I saw him when actually Jeremiah checked in to camp this year. And, he looks the part and plays the part. He's a guy that if you aren't aware of where he is on the field, he can give you some big problems, and he's made a ton of big plays.
And then you talk about the defensive side of the ball, and they got several guys who jump off. The Conti kid in the secondary is very good. Richardson on the corner, but the guy who really jumps off stat-wise, at least, is Charlie Cleveland, the defensive end. 49 tackles, 13 and a half tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks. That's going to get the job done a lot of times on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and he was out last year to injury, so he didn't play against us. He's back. He played as a freshman, 2 years ago. He's a big, dynamic athlete. He's one of the top defensive ends in the nation. His numbers don't lie, but if you watch the way he plays, he can take over a game from that spot. But defensively, they got some really good players. I love their front. They play very hard. They're very physical. The 2 linebackers, Murtis and Goki, those guys have been there a long time. And Ross Moore's a senior. You mentioned Carrington Connie, playmaker, dynamic. They are a complete team. I mean, you don't win as many games they have. I mean, they've lost basically a couple conference games in the last 2 years. They lost to us a year ago, and they lost to Hillsdale a year ago. Other than that, they've pretty much beaten everybody. So, it's like I said, some familiar faces, but some new guys that came in. But the new guys that came in are about as good as it gets when it comes to the skill level.
Well, Coach, let's go ahead and talk about the keys to victory.
I talked to our team about, how important every yard is in this game. And I think I wanted our defense and offense to understand that, we better play with great effort, all 11, every single snap. Understanding that every single inch, every single yard is going to be so important in a game like this because it might hinge on a couple plays. And, we got to be, from an effort-wise, at our highest level. I'm going to go back to the takeaways. The turnover battle has been a very big plus to our football team in 2019. We've won the turnover battle quite a bit. We continue to get takeaways from the defense, but if the offense can capitalize on those and score points, that's going to be a big factor in the game. And then, when you get a game like this, when it's down to, hey, two teams, possible playoff appearance for both teams, possible, championship team for us, they've already got a share of the league title, it's a team that's going to kind of gut out a win regardless of the situation. Whether we have to stop them at the end or whether we have to score at the end or whether we're going to have to make a big play with the offense or defense, I told our guys we're going to have to come up with a way, regardless of who it is, to come up and make some big plays, especially down the stretch.
All right, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, thanks.
All right, Head Coach Rob Keys, appreciate his time. Come back, we'll get starting lineups in the kickoff. You're listening to Oiler Football here on 88.3 WLFC.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Good afternoon. Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium here on 88.3 WLFC and on UFTV as well. Getting ready for the Dragons and the Oilers. And the coin toss happening right now. The Dragons win the toss. They have deferred to the second half, so the Oilers will be receiving the opening kickoff. Let's talk about the lineups. Oilers led out by their junior quarterback, Matt Wensler. Comes in on the season. We'll actually look at the last 4 weeks. 70 of 111, 826 yards, 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's an efficiency ranking of 164.2, averaging just over 200 yards a game. Been very efficient in the backfield with him. Brian Benson will be the first one we see, probably the 5'8 junior out of Mansfield, Ohio, 144 carries, 873 yards. But we'll also see a steady diet of the reigning GMAC Offensive Player of the Week, Nate Slagle, the 5'11 senior out of Loveland, Ohio. As we said, reigning GMAC Offensive Player of the Week after 4 touchdowns last week. Having another outstanding campaign is that 1-2 punch with him and Brian Benson. Meanwhile, the wideouts, Tanner Schrader, the 5'10 freshman from Macomb. Also out there, expect Ruben Flowers, number 4, the 6'3 junior out of Lima. William Moorhand, the 5'11 senior out of Lakewood, California as well. Across that offensive line, Logan Bailey, Andrew Dickinson, Neil Davis, Clay Colvin, and Corey Henthorn make up that offensive line. We'll also expect to see Mike Riggerman at the tight end, as well as Tyler Glander as well. Going up against that will be the defense for the Dragons, anchored by that big defensive end, number 7, the redshirt sophomore, 6'4", 250 pounds out of East Chicago, Indiana, Charlie Cleveland. 49 tackles, 13.5 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks on the season. He'll be joined on that front by Marvin Radford, A.J. Latrell Robinson, the linebackers, Zach Goki, Jacob Murtis, and Ross Moore. On the corners, Kevin Hyde and Tyler Richardson. At the safety positions, Justice Waller. And on the other side, you heard Coach talk about a major playmaker, the senior Carrington Conti, who comes in at 63 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and 3 interceptions on the year. So many things to talk about that we didn't get to with Coach. Obviously, he mentioned a possibility at sharing a GMAC title with Tiffin and also possibly ODU if the Oilers can pull off the win today. There is still an outside chance at playoffs for the Oilers and for the Dragons. Dragons are actually in position right now if they can pull out the win. There's that new bowl game, the crossover between the GMAC and the GLVC. That's a possibility for the Oilers as well. And then you throw on top of that, it's also senior day here at Donnell Stadium. So certainly a lot going on, and we'll try to reference as much of it and keep you updated as much on it as possible as the game continues. All right, Dragons in those visiting whites and those special, just for this game occasion, gold helmets that they're wearing. Oilers in the home black on blacks with orange letters and numerals. Kickoff is a high one, fielded at the 6. That's Lynch. He's going to bring it right to the middle. Spins off a couple of tacklers, sidesteps across the 25, and then dives out towards the 28 or 29-yard line. That's where the Oiler offense will go, 1st and 10. Spectacular autumn afternoon here at Donnell Stadium. The breeze is picking up as it's going along. It's out of the northeast. We'll see how that affects things here. Oilers open up with a 3-receiver package, 2 to the near side, 1 up top. Tight end on the end of the line. Brian Benson, the back in the backfield. And he'll get the handoff. He'll try the right side. And not much there. Maybe a half yard. 2nd and long coming up for the Oilers. Everybody knows the history, 26-1. The Oilers have, there's no other word for it, dominated this matchup. And it's something that sticks in the craw of the Dragons. And they're looking to change a tide today. Oilers go 4 receivers this time, 2 to each side. Wensler in the gun, with Benson still behind. They give again to Bryant. Starts it on the left side and gets it out across the 30 to the 32 or the 33. A.J. Wright leading the charge defensively there, and the Oilers looking at a 3rd down and about 6. Opening drive of the game here. Oilers again with the 4-receiver package, 2 to each side. Benson stays the back in the backfield. Offensive line with their adjustments at the line. Dragons showing pressure on the top of the formation. Schrader in motion to make it trips at the top. Wensler back, pressure in the backfield, pumps once. Now he's going to try to run for it. Gets across the 35 out to about the 37, but that's going to be 2 to 3 yards shy of the 1st down. Good coverage downfield, and Wensler really didn't have any place to go with that, and the Oilers going to have to punt it away. Bring on Mitch Hebenstreet, who's been outstanding. Woods back for the punt. He's had 10 punt returns on the year and has 94 total return yards. Kind of a short bounce and hop that rolls in favor of the Oilers inside the 30, down around the 28. And I think with the wind blowing in his face, that was an attempt to try to manage that as best they could. So now we'll see this high-powered Tiffin offense led by the redshirt junior Nick Watson, 171 on 276 attempts. He has 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And in the backfield, Jaquan Hardy, the 5'10 redshirt junior, just under 1,200 yards on the season. And he's going to get the handoff, immediately bounces it to the outside, avoids a man, turns it up across the 40, and forced out of bounds near the 45. Coach talked about it. He's hard to bring down. He is somewhat reminiscent for old-school GLIAC fans of Joik Bell out of Wayne State back in the day. Not quite that big, but similar type of running style. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 1st and 10 from their own 43. Watson pitches it again, this time to Hardy, and he tries the left side. Oilers stretch it out. Trombetti on the stop after about 4, maybe 5 yards. Dragons immediately trying to attack left and right. One up top, 2 to the near side. Slot tight end on the left as well. Quick throw by Watson and incomplete, just dropped. And I think that was Jackson was his target. No, correction, that's Butler was the target. Those yellow numbers on the white jerseys are not easy to read because it's a very pale yellow. So 3rd down and 6, chance for the Oilers to get off the field here. Watson from the shotgun has the back to his left. 2 receivers to this side, 2 up top. Straight drop, looks, flush from the pocket. And Watson doesn't run a ton, but when he does, he's effective. Goes across midfield and inside the 40. Oilers had good coverage downfield and even had some good pressure in the backfield, but a good job by Watson to step up in the pocket and take what was there. He said, doesn't rush a lot, 61 carries, 250 yards, does have 7 rushing touchdowns on the year. He would much rather throw it, though, but a good effective run there. Has it at the Oiler 38, 1st and 10. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Delay pitch to Hardy. And he's got blockers, burst into the secondary, and finally drug down around the 15. And you can see why Jaquan Hardy is so highly thought of. Explosive there with that run. Well, the defense a little on their heels here early on. Has it at the Oiler 15 with the 1st down. 3 to the right, 1 to the left, back to the right. Quick throw the screen out here on the near side and brought down inside of the 10, down near the 6 or 7, depends on the spot here. Stanley Jackson's the junior is the main target, but they use a lot of guys. Woods, Devon Lynch, Blake Darnell, Devin Butler, Marcus Whitfield, who had that last catch. 3 to the left. The give, and this time the Oilers step up and plug it in the hole. That was Kyle Brunson, who's the second half of this duo. Brunson 78 carries for 413 on the year. 3rd down and 2 as they can get a 1st down at the 6. Holding the Dragons to a field goal attempt here would be a victory for the Oilers. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Watson in the gun with Hardy to his left. And the give, fake to Hardy. Watson's going to keep it, take it into the end zone. Well, that's what having an explosive running back will do for you. Everybody in the world bought on that play fake, and then Watson pulled it out of his belly and had a nice lane to the end zone for the touchdown. His 8th rushing touchdown of the year, and the Dragons draw first blood, 7-0. Bring on A.J. Nikolai. 46 of 47 on his point after tries on the season. Spot is down, the kick is up, and just tucks it inside the right upright, and the Dragons have the early lead, 7-0 with 9:51 left in the first quarter. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC.
Why do I choose Union Bank? Because they understand that I work hard for my money and deserve a reward, like Everyday Rewards Checking, a checking account that rewards you with a refund on your ATM charges. Plus, you can get paid, cash rewards, or great interest rate rewards just for using your debit card or paying a bill online, right from your phone or tablet. Stop by the Union Bank today and ask about Everyday Rewards Checking, or visit us online. Your community bank. Union Bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back as the Oilers find themselves trailing 7-0 here after the drive by the Dragons gets them on the board, finished off with the run by Watson. We'll get the scoring recap shortly. Right now preparing to kick it away to the Oilers again is Nikolai. Hangs a high one up there. Lynch will go a yard deep in the end zone to pull it out. Takes burst across the 20, 25, 30, and then just tripped up. Another nice return by Derek Lynch. Gives the Oilers some pretty good field position to start things off here. Looking to answer the touchdown. And A sideline warning, I think that was on the Dragons. So Watson, the 7-yard touchdown run. Kick after by Nikolai is good. 7-0 in favor of the Dragons. Oiler offense looking to respond now. Wide out to each side, bring the top wide out in motion. Give him the handoff. That's Lynch looking to turn it up. Finds a slot, bounces to the outside, across the 40, the 45, and finally pulled down around the 50-yard line. And we saw the Oilers tease that play several times in last week's game against Ashland, but used it mostly as a diversion. This time they give it, and the Oilers get a big play out of it. 1st and 10 at the Dragon 49. Wide out to each side. 2 backs in the backfield, along with the tailback Slagle. Fake the pitch. Going to keep it is Winsler, and I think that might have been a broken play. I think he actually wanted to give that to Lynch, but Lynch wasn't looking for it. Turns it up for a yard gain, does Matt. Second down and 9 for the Oilers. Two to the right, one to the left. Late handoff to Slagle. He hammers the line, still drives, pushes inside the 45, down to about the 43. Bring up a 3rd down and about 4. Oilers go 2 wideouts to the top. That's Moorhand and Schrader. Flowers split to the near side. Press coverage on both the outside receivers. Winsler looks, quick throw, complete and 1st down to Tanner Schrader. Inside the 35, down to about the 33. Quick slant out of that inside to receiver position. Oilers switch out some personnel, bring in the extra tight end, take out one of the receivers. Slagle's going to stay in the backfield. Oilers are going to send 3 receivers all to the top. Flowers to the outside. Richardson in the middle, then Schrader. Late change in personnel by the Dragons. Play action, throw it out. Schrader with the screen action. Bounces it. Ooh, almost broke that tackle. If he does, he's going to have a 1st down and then some more, but still a good pickup on 1st down. Some late contact after the play was over, away from the ball, but nothing comes of it. Looks like an 8-yard pickup, 2nd and 2 coming up for Finley. Ball at the 26. Flowers split to the left. Richardson split to the right. And Lynch comes in motion. Handoff, though, goes to Slagle. He hammers it. He's still on his feet. Drives it inside the 15. And then dives forward to the 14. Good answering drive here by the Oilers as they trail 7-0. Clock continues to move. 6:50 left here in the opening quarter. Flowers goes split to the right. Lynch and Richardson to the left. Slagle is still the back in the backfield. Bring Lynch in motion. Fake the give to him. Give it to Slagle, and he gets popped. Good step up by the linebacker, Ross Moore, to make the stop for a pickup of 1. 2nd and 9 coming up. Richardson and Schrader are going to split to the right, Flowers to the left. Slagle stays in. Brown, the blocking fullback, offset to the right. Fake the give, throw, looking, end zone, and outstretched, and that's going to be a flag. And you get both of them saw the same thing. That's going to be pass interference in the end zone. Oilers are going to get the first down here as they just flat out tackled Schrader as the ball was coming in.
First down.
So with it happening in the end zone, brings it out to the 2-yard line. And Oilers going to have it first and goal at the 2. Oilers keep Slagle in. Flowers to the right. Lynch and Richardson to the right. Give to Slagle on the delay and into the end zone. Oiler touchdown. And the Oilers are an extra point away from tying this one up. Nice misdirection. Used Lynch as the diversion like we saw several times last week against Ashland. And that left a nice hole, and Nate Slagle finishes the deal. Spot is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 5:42 left in the first quarter. We're tied at 7 between Findlay and Tiffin. Back after this on 88.3 WLFC and UFTV.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Why do I choose Union Bank? Because they understand that I work hard for my money and deserve a reward, like everyday rewards checking. A checking account that rewards you with a refund on your ATM charges. Plus, you can get paid cash rewards or great interest rate rewards just for using your debit card or paying a bill online, right from your phone or tablet. Stop by the Union Bank today and ask about everyday rewards checking, or visit us online. Your community bank. Union Bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. After the Oiler touchdown, we find ourselves tied at 7 apiece. Demler to kick away. Goes with a high short kick. Fielded at the 22 by one of the up men. Takes it across the 30 and out to the 35. And a little shenanigans away and no flags by the officials. We'll see how this one plays out. History in this one tells us you're better off calling some fouls early, calling some penalties early and trying to get things under control, but so far this crew's decided not to. We've had a couple scenarios like that away from the ball and after the play is over. All right, now let's see how this Oiler defense responds. They've had a chance to look at him. 2 to the near side, 1 to the top for the Dragons. Watson with the give to Hardy, and Hardy bounces and runs out of one tackle. Second man will finish it off. I believe that's Jefferson with the stop. Jefferson, the reigning GMAC defensive player after the week, after recording his 9th interception on the season. Second down and 2 after the 8-yard pickup by Hardy. 2 to the near side, 1 to the top. Play action fake. Watson back, has time, throws and almost picked, but he goes over top of the Cade Rogers. Cade Rogers was trying to make a play on that one, but good throw by Watson over the top. Caldwell gets the tackle, but not until he takes it into Oiler territory at the 37. If that ball's even slightly underthrown, Cade Rogers at least knocks it down. One to each side. Play action. Watson then to fake to Hardy. He avoids one, spins out of another, And he's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Oilers probably should have had him for a loss. That's some nifty moves by Hardy in a short place there. He made 3 guys miss in a closet there. And actually pushes forward for a pickup of a yard, 2nd and 9. Two to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff, Hardy. And breaks the tackle, fights for some more. Gibson had him right around the line of scrimmage, but he just ripped out of the ankle tackle. He is so strong. You heard Coach Keys talk about it. He's just pure muscle from bottom to top. So 3rd down and 2 now at the Oiler 29-yard line. Cluster of 3 receivers all to the right. Tight end on the left end of the line. Hardy to the right of Watson. Fake the give, throw quickly out into the flat. Picks up a block, another, spins away. Jefferson eventually going to bring him down around the 18, but that's well enough for a 1st down. Officials' time. And we got officials' time for something. We're going to keep it here until I know what's going on here. I didn't see anybody call a timeout. Both sides are going to go over. Again, if you're just joining us, both teams put together long drives. The Dragons, after the Oilers went 3 and out on their opening drive, the Dragons drove down the field, finished things off with a Nick Watson touchdown run. Oilers then answered back with a mostly ground battle drive coming back the other way, led by Nate Slagle and Derek Lynch, and then finished things off with the Slagle touchdown run. We're knotted up at 7, and now the Dragons coming back with another steady dose of Hardy here. And are looking at 1st and 10 from the Oiler 18-yard line. Handoff again to Hardy, and he bounces it to the outside and just moves so smoothly with that size of his. And he takes it all the way down to the Oiler 6-yard line. Well, now they'll spot it at the 5. Far side had it spotted at the 6, near side at the 5. So 1st and goal from there. Hardy, 5'10", 225 pounds out of Westlake, Ohio. 1 receiver left, 2 to the right. That's the short side of the field. Handoff to Hardy, and Oilers will ride him down after a pickup of a couple, down to about the 2. Basinji on the stop. Oilers will send in Dalton Davis to rotate some personnel on that defensive front. One receiver split each way. Again, the give to Hardy. Pushes to about the 1. So 3rd and goal from there. Miles and Trombetti on the stop for Finley. Oilers change out some personnel, as do the Dragons. Dragons see if they try to spread them out here and then run a draw action with Hardy, or maybe it'll be another Watson keep. We'll see. 2 to the left, 1 to the right of the receivers on 3rd and goal from the 1. Watson with the sprint out, and the Oilers stop him shy. They just went with a straight quarterback run, no read. And now it's 4th and goal from the 1. Chris Reisert with the decision here, and it looks like that decision's been made. They're going to go with the offense. Chance for the Oiler defense to make a statement here on 4th and goal from the 1. No gain on that last play. 3 receivers split to the left. Hardy to the left of Watson in the gun. Rolls out, sprints, looks. And did he just tuck it in? He did. He kept on threatening to throw, and then he dove and stretched the football out to break the plane and get the touchdown. That's a heads-up play by an athlete there. Oilers did just about all you could do there except get the tackle before the goal line. They had everything covered up in the end zone. They strung it out, just couldn't get to him. As Watson's second rushing touchdown puts the Dragons back in front, 13-7, with a Nikolai extra point coming. Snap back, spot down, the kick is up. And the kick is good. 41 seconds left in the first quarter. Dragons lead at 14-7. Back after this 60-second timeout on WLFC and UFTV.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Why do I choose Union Bank? Because they understand that I work hard for my money and deserve a reward, like everyday rewards checking. A checking account that rewards you with a refund on your ATM charges. Plus, you can get paid, cash rewards or great interest rate rewards just for using your debit card or paying a bill online, right from your phone or tablet. Stop by the Union Bank today and ask about everyday rewards checking or visit us online. Your community bank. Union Bank. Member FDIC.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium, ready to get things going. A.J. Nikolai back to kick it away. Two Oilers back deep. Driving, angling kick, be fielded right about the one. Lynch started towards the middle, now bounces to the outside, gets a full head of steam across the 35, still pushing across the 40. Flag's going to come in late. This could be either category. That could be a face mask, that could be an illegal block or a hold. We'll see what the officials sort out here, but another outstanding return. And the Oilers potentially with a great field position to start things off here. Right now it's at the 44, but we have the penalty pending here. And he's facing like it's going against the Oilers.
Warning, Finley bench, personal foul, illegal blindside block, kicking team, number 24, 15-yard
penalty. So it's a 15-yarder again. So one official came in, took the ball from the other and said, no, we're going the other direction. So the Oilers get outstanding field position here as it goes all the way down to the Dragon 41-yard line. So the Oilers trail 14-7. A 65-yard touchdown drive capped off with the 1-yard run by Nick Watson. And the Nikolai kick has the Dragons in front 14-7. With 34 seconds left here in the first quarter. Oilers with the football. Two receivers to the left. Play action, throw it out to Schrader in the flat. He's got some running room. Sidesteps a man at the 30 and takes it inside the 25. Nice run after the catch, that old yak stat. And the true freshman out of Macomb showing his athleticism there, avoiding a tackle. 1st and 10, see if the Oilers want to run another play before the end of the quarter or not. And it looks like the answer to that is no. So after one quarter of play, Dragons lead the Oilers 14-7. Back with more after this on 88.3 WLFC.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
You might be surprised at how much money is in the walls of this old house. With a Union Bank Home Equity Line of Credit, the equity from your home can be used for whatever you need. college tuition, paying off those credit cards, even home improvement. And there are no closing costs. Best of all, you work with Union Bank loan professionals right here in your hometown. Go to theubank.com for details. Union Bank, your community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At the 24 of the Tiffin Dragons. Oilers will put Flowers out to the right. Looks like Richardson to the left. Bring Lynch in motion across the formation. Now give it to him on a delay handoff. And he'll fight to get maybe a yard there. The Dragons overloaded that and poured over that right side of the offensive line, and not a whole lot of places for Derek to go with that one. Flowers to the right, Richardson to the left again. Back looking for Reuben Flowers, looking the end zone and not able to get there. Good coverage out on that corner. No foul there, just good press coverage. Sets up a 3rd down and 9. It's Winsler's first incompletion, as he was 3 for 3 and 34. Watson on the other side, 3 of 4 for 39. This time Flowers goes to the left, 2 receivers. Richardson and Schrader to the right on 3rd and long, showing a blitz right up the middle of the Dragons. Pressure comes, dumps it down, finds Slagle. Slagle turns it up, 1st down, yardage and more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, touchdown Oilers. A little bit of improvisation, at least that's the way it looked. Man came clean off the end. And a nice job by Winsler to go to his check down, Slagle out of the backfield. And then Nate with some nifty running after the catch finds the end zone, and we're an extra point away from again being tied up between the Oilers and the Dragons. Demler on for the point after try, out of the hold is Schimler. Snap back, spot down, the kick is up, and the kick no good. It's been an on-again, off-again problem for Demler, and it shows itself there. We'll talk more about it when we return after this 60-second timeout on 88.3 WLFC and UFTV.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. Tim Montgomery and the Oilers trailing 14-13. And coming into this game, Demler was 23 of 28, now making 24 of 30 on extra points. It's going to left a high angling kick, drives him back inside the 5 to about the 3. Looking to cut it all the way across the grain. Does, looking to get the corner turned across the 25 before being run out of bounds, or somewhere around that 30-yard line. Good return. That last drive set up nicely by the great return on the kickoff by Derek Lynch and then the 15-yard penalty. Capped off with the pitch and catch between Winsler and Slagle for 23 yards. But the missed extra point leaves the Dragons in front by 1, 14-13, and they have the football. String 3 receivers to the left. one to the right. Fake the handoff to Brunson, throw on the flat, and the Oilers just blew it. Ball came out loose. Nope, they're going to say incomplete. Official immediately steps in and says, nope, he never caught it there. Good hit put on. I believe that was Caldwell who had the hit and knocked the ball loose. Nice defensive play, 2nd and 10 now. Looks like Brunson's going to stay in the backfield. 4 receivers this time, 2 to each side for the Dragons. On 2nd and 10, Watson back with a quick throw underneath and tackled immediately. Fata-Hunsey with the tackle at the 35. Sets up a 3rd down and 6. 3 and out would go a long way in the Oiler cause here. But the Dragons have managed to convert a couple of these on their opening 2 drives. Keep Brunson in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side, single receiver up top. Back, flush from the pocket, pressure, lets it fly and throws it away. So the Oiler defense gets the 3 and out. Good pressure in the backfield. And the Oilers are going to force a punt here, more than likely from the Dragons. Tanner Schrader will go back to field it. We got Dalton Rockhold who had the pressure on Watson and made him kick it away. High punt, fair catch is going to be called and made inside the 30 at around the 28-29. They'll say 29-yard line. That's what it'll be, 1st and 10. So the Oilers trailing by 1, but have the football back after they force the 3 and out. One of the things I've been impressed actually the last couple of seasons with this Oiler defense is the adjustments they make. They do in some cases subtle, some cases large adjustments through the game. And it looked like they made a couple there. 2 to the top, 1 to the near side. Winsler fakes the handoff. Quick slant to Flowers, and we're going to get another pass interference call. As getting mugged was Reuben Flowers. And the discussions are continuing as are normal between wide receivers and cornerbacks.
There is no foul for defensive pass interference as the ball was tipped. 2nd down.
Oh, they say the ball was tipped and therefore there's not a foul. I was watching the fighting between the two of them, and now all of a sudden the official was getting ready to step something off against the Oilers, and now they'll come back in conference. And apparently the miscommunication, the umpire wasn't on the same page with the rest of the crew. It's been taken care of. We're ready to go. 2nd and 10 now for the Oilers. Flowers this time goes up to the top. Lynch split to the near side. Blocking fullback in there behind Benson. Bring Lynch across the formation. Fake the give to him. Give it to Benson. He steps across the 30, gets hammered and driven back. And not quite sure why they're allowed to continue that play out like that, but forward progress out to the 32. Pickup of 3 brings up a 3rd down and 7 for Finley. I actually spot him all the way to the 33, so make it a pickup of 4. 3rd and 6 now for Finley. Dragons have shown blitz in these situations. Oilers go a cluster of 3 receivers on the top of the formation. Single receiver on the near side. Moorhan goes in motion out. Sorry, Richardson actually. Quick throw out there, and Schrader, and I think he's going to get the 1st down. And he does. Good job by Tanner to stretch it out there at the end. Knew where the sticks were and got there. Clock moving, 12:23 left here in the first half. Oilers trail 14-13. This one's been pretty much what we expected to be to this point. 2 very good teams going head to head. Missed extra point is the difference right now. Flowers and Richardson to the near side. And some confusion. Now the throwback across to Flowers. Flowers shakes it loose over the corner, fights for extra yardage, and drives it down to around the 32, maybe the 31 of the Dragons. Maybe that's what that was designed to do. Wensler sprinted towards the left and then pulled up and threw back to the right. Everybody had left Flowers alone, and then he made a couple of people miss on tackles to pick up extra yardage at the end of the play. There you see it on the replay. For those watching the video feed, made a couple of guys miss before going down. Spotted at the Dragon 32-yard line. Oilers 1st and 10. Lynch and Richardson to the left. Now bring Lynch in motion. Put him in the backfield. Give him the handoff on a student body left. And not much there. Matter of fact, nothing at all. Good pressure on that defensive right by the Dragons. And by the way, the Dragons sent a crew over. They brought the band over for this one, brought their cheerleaders. You don't see a whole lot of traveling of bands and cheerleaders in Division II. But that's the case, and then a very healthy visiting contingent on the far set of bleachers. Oilers on 2nd and 10. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. That's Flowers, the single receiver. Again, bring Lynch in motion. Fake to him, fake to Slagle. Looks, throws the check down to Lynch, and he's going to be dropped for a loss in the backfield. Good play in space by the defensive back. Carrington Conte, Coach and I talked about him in the pregame. 34 unassisted tackle for a defensive back. That's really good. Plus 3 tackles for loss coming in. This is going to be a no gain with that spot. They're saying he got back to the line of scrimmage. Now Oilers will be looking at 3rd and long here.
Holding, defense number 10. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot will
After
result
conversation,
in a first
they
down.
decide there was a defensive hold, so the Oilers will get first down. Didn't see a flag dropped any place in that. Of course, it looks like it was away on the checkdowns. Takes it to the 22 of the Dragons. Whistles and flag go the way of the Oilers that time. Keeps the drive going. 1st and 10. Richardson on the right, Flowers on the left. Tight ends in on the line. Fake the handoff, quick throw, and just out of the reach. Was trying to hook up with Flowers on that hard slant and just not able to haul it in. Ruben hadn't dropped many of those. Oilers on 2nd and 10. 2 receivers on the right, close to the formation. One out to the top. Play action, throw the check down complete. Slagle turns it up, drives forward down to about the 16. Maybe a little closer to the 17. Sets up a 3rd down and 5 situation now for the Oilers. Two to the left, 1 to the right. Play action, throw it up, looking to the end zone. Jump ball. Did he get his feet in? Touchdown Oilers. Wensler's just thrown it to a spot there, lets the receiver goes up with that. And the Oilers go in front for the first time today, 19-14. And see if they go extra point here. Looks like they're going to go extra point, bring out Chase Wilcox to handle the kicking. Schindler the holder, spot is down, the kick is up. And the kick is good. 9:24 left here in the first half. Oilers go in front 20-14 over Tiffin. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. And the Oilers have moved in front 20-14 after the touchdown pass from Matt Winsler to Marlon Richardson. Demler getting ready to kick it away. And fair catch is called and made back around the 12. And, of course, with the rule change a couple of years ago, that brings it, out to the 25. And that's where the Dragons will be 1st and 10. Talk about Winsler, 8 of 11 for 113, 2 touchdowns for the signal caller for the Oilers. Nick Watson on the other side, 4 of 7, 43. But when you look at the rushing, an additional 4 carries for 23 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. So the two quarterbacks certainly doing their part in this one. That last drive for the Dragons was without Jaquan Hardy. He is back out there on this drive and in the backfield. Play action fake, quick throw down to Jackson. Stanley Jackson Jr., the older brother of the Oiler defensive back. Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3 now. Put a man in motion from the near side towards the top. The give, fake to Hardy. Watson's going to keep it, and he'll be pushed back and actually lose about a half yard in that. Watson's probably done more intentional runs in this game than he has in a while. So 3rd down and 3 now for the Dragons. Hand off, Hardy. Oh, they had him for short of the line of gain. He breaks a couple arm tackles, bursts deep into Oiler territory, and finally be brought down inside the Oiler 35. Oilers had him short of the line of gain, but they just couldn't hold on. And you heard Coach talk about it in the pregame. He's just so hard to bring down. Three to the right, 1 to the left. Brunson in there as the running back. Play action to him. Time for Watson. He's going to be flushed. He'll be brought down, and we got a flag thrown back near the line of scrimmage in the neighborhood of what looks like an offensive hold. But we'll wait and see.
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty from the previous
Well,
spot.
Take the 10-yard penalty. Three to the right, two to the left on a 5-receiver empty backfield this time for Watson. Quick throw on the flat on the screen action. Complete, and not going to find a whole lot of places to go except backwards. Going to be a loss of another couple, even with the forward progress. Takes it back to the Oiler 46. Two to the left, two to the right on second down, and call it about 22. Throw the check down to Hardy in the backfield. Oilers stretching it out. He's going to double back. Ooh, almost broke another tackle there and would have had some running room up the sideline. The Oilers stayed persistent. I think Kajano Caldwell is going to get credit for the tackle. Takes it back to the Oiler 44, but sets up a third and very long from there. Matter of fact, third and about 20. Oilers will change out all the personnel. They'll keep Hardy in the backfield. Go 4 receivers, 3 to the right, 1 to the left for Watson this time. Clock is running, 6:20 and counting left here in the third. Oilers will back everything off. They'll go with the draw action and a great play in space for the Oilers. As slicing and dicing his way in was Irvin Basenji with the tackle for the short gain and force a punting situation by the Dragons. Oilers dropped the linebackers, the safeties, the corners way back. That left that all on the defensive line, and Irvin got in the backfield and made a play. Against a very good running back, by the way. Schrader back around his 15 hovering. High one lifted. Fair catch is called for and made just inside the 15, right about the 14-yard line. And that's where the Oilers will go 1st and 10. So back-to-back, good defensive series for the Oilers. They're actually going to say Tanner made that fair catch closer to the 15. Oilers leading it 20-14. GMAC, a share of the GMAC title at stake here. Keeps your hopes alive for maybe the playoffs, but I don't know. We'll have to see how that shakes out on Sunday. 2 to the top are the receivers. Play action, throw, and not a good throw by Matt. He short-hopped that. If he hits Tanner in the numbers, Tanner might have some running room there as he had a blocker out there in Ruben Flowers, but kind of skidded it in there. 2nd and 10 now from that spot. We also talked about that bowl game that the highest ranked team in the conference who does not make the playoffs plays in that bowl game. I believe it's the weekend of December 7th. Schrader across the formation makes it 3 up top. Throws a quick check down to Flowers. And he'll take it and push across the 20 out to about the 23. Sets up a 3rd down and 3 for Finley. And then, of course, you talk just about the bragging rights in this one. Also affects the recruiting. 1 wide out each way. Oilers are going to check off. And are the Oilers going to take a timeout? They will. We're going to take a 30-second timeout. Oilers lead at 20-14 with 4:55 left. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC and UFTV.
Why do you want to go to college? To become something more? To find your line and go beyond it? To make someone's life better? To start on a path to a productive career? That's why the University of Findlay is here. Since 1882, a community of passionate learners, inspiring the best in each other.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium as the Oilers lead at 20-14. A couple of touchdown runs for the Dragons by their quarterback, Nick Watson. The Oilers get a couple of touchdown passes and a touchdown run to have this 6-point lead. The Oilers going to be looking at 3rd and 3 from their own 23-yard line here to keep this drive going. Oilers would love to run out this clock with putting a score on the board, with the Dragons receiving the second half kickoff. Oilers going to go 4 receivers. Well, now there seems to be some mass confusion, and the Oilers are going to get a flag. They got illegal substitution out of the timeout.
Legal substitution, offense, 12 players in formation. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Yeah, they had 12 in the formation. And then Lynch tried running off. I'm not sure how that happens out of a timeout, but it did. So now make this third down in about 8 for the Oilers. Three to the left, 1 to the right. Now bring a man in motion, 2 to each side. Straight drop by Winsler. Airs it out, looking up top, and overthrows it. And that one well covered by the Dragons, and now the Oilers will bring on Heben Street to try to pump this one away. Wind has kind of died down a little bit here in the last 10-15 minutes. It's still blowing out of the north a little bit, but not nearly the gusto it was in the first quarter. Woods back around his own 40. Good snap back to Mitch. He gets sort of a line drive wobbler. Touched one of the Oilers a little earlier than they would have liked. It was going to take a big Oiler hop, but it kind of sort of checked up and bounced off the chest of Kostelic and actually gives the Dragons the ball at the 45. 4:43 left here. Oilers with a 6-point advantage. Watson out there with Hardy again. 2 receivers right, 1 receiver to the left is Stanley Jackson Jr. Fake the give, going up top, looking for Jackson, complete. And he's finally ridden down inside the 15 by Fanahansi. But a good ball. And I don't know if Eric didn't see the ball or he wasn't sure if he thought maybe it was going a different direction, but he kind of released Jackson and had about 3 steps on him. So the Dragons threatening to perhaps retake a lead here. Two to the right, 1 to the left. Give back to Hardy, and he has a huge seam off the left side. Drives, touchdown, Dragons. Now, Oilers had nobody out here on the right side. They just got crushed down. Give part of that credit to the Dragon offensive line, but Oilers miss a line there. Tied up at 20 and an extra point away from the Dragons going back in front with 4:11 left here in the half. Nikolai for the point after try. Spot is down. The kick is up. And the kick is good. 4:11 left. Dragons go in front, 21-20. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. And the Oilers now find themselves trailing by 21-20 after a 13-yard touchdown run by Jaquan Hardy and the point after by A.J. Nikolai. Dragons will trying to get this one teed up here. 2 back. Oilers have gotten a couple of good returns out of Derek Lynch here in this first half, and certainly another one would be welcomed here. But we'll see if the Dragons start trying to kick away here. They'll go high, short. Takes a hop and a skip and a roll, and Oilers just got Oilered. You can't forward it. You can only take it where you got it, but that's what the Dragons did. That's exactly what the Oilers did to Walsh and to some degree what they did last week to the Eagles. Person closest to that was probably Nate Slagle, but I don't know that Nate ever saw it. Well, almost on cue, trying to avoid Lynch. They went with the high short kick, something the Oilers do all the time. And now the Dragons with a chance to perhaps try to blow this thing open as they lead it by 1, but have it 1st and 10 at the Oiler 20. Oilers need something from the defense here. Somebody runs on late for the Dragons. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Hardy gets the handoff, and he fights off a man in the backfield again. Then he heads towards the end zone. Is he going to get there? They say no. That's unbelievable. Oilers had him for a 3-yard loss and just couldn't hold on. And we got an injured Oiler behind the play. They're going to say they got him down at the 1. But to be honest, the Oilers should have had him back at the 23. Scheller, the injured Oiler, he's been kind of battling an on-again, off-again shoulder most of the season, and it looks like that might be the case again. So 1st and goal from the Oiler 1. And I don't think there's a whole lot of secret where this football's going. Clock running, 3:48 and counting. Hand off to Hardy. He's going to back way up, and this time the Oilers are not going to let him off the hook. And they're going to take it all the way back to the 8. Well, that's confidence, and you certainly like confidence in your player that he thinks he can back it up and get out, and there's good reason in this game why he could, but that time it cost the Dragons about 7 yards. 2nd and goal from the 8. Two to the left, 1 to the right. Play action fake, throws in zone, incomplete. A little bit high. Fada Huntsy had coverage out there. Was looking for Woods. Incomplete. Now 3rd and goal. Well, I'll tell you what, after all of this, if the Oilers can hold them to a field goal attempt, that would be phenomenal. Two receivers to the left. One and a tight end to the right. Straight drop, looks, ends, and nobody. That was just easy. Nobody picked up Stan Jackson, the top receiver on this Dragon team, and nobody was within 10 yards of him. So the Dragons with a 7-point lead, a chance to make it 8 here with the point after. Still 3:06 left here in the first half. Snap back, spot is down, the kick is up. And the kick is good. 3:06 left in the first half. Dragons 28, Oilers 20. Back after this 60-second timeout on 88.3 WLFC and UFTV.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. Dragons go back-to-back touchdowns to push it out to an 8-point advantage, 28-20. Another high, short kick. And again, the Oilers don't touch it. They all pointed at each other. You got it, you got it. And that's just unbelievable. They even changed things up so they had a receiver at the 20-yard line, and he intentionally ran away from the football. Right now, the Oilers have a good opponent here, but right now the Oilers beating themselves. They're going to have to shake this off and find a way to turn it around. So the Dragons smelling some blood, and you can understand why. And they're going to get the second half kickoff as well. Throw it out in the flat, complete. Another first down to around the 10, maybe the 9. First and goal from the 10. Clock running, 2:47 left in the first half. At the half, we'll be talking with Brandy Larita, Director of Athletics for the University of Findlay. I felt kind of special. You and Jim kind of arguing over who was going to get talk to me. I felt special.
It's kind of a big deal.
Not really. Hand off to Hardy, and he's going to be pushed back. And a loss back to around the 14. Big play by that defensive front. Second and goal now after Irvin Basinji with the play in the backfield. Oilers have 2 timeouts left. I didn't know if maybe they try to preserve them here and or use them to try to preserve some clock to try to score before the half. Two receivers to the left, single receiver to the right as the sun comes shining out. Quick throw out in the flat and drives it inside the 5. And again, the Oilers late to a line there as they go to Woods, and he has it 3rd and goal from about the 4, it looks like. Two to the right, 2 to the left. Hardy to the right of Watson. Quick throw, incomplete. And that's going to bring up a decision here for Coach Reesert. And it looks like he's going to go field goal unit. So Nikolai 5 of 10 on the year from field goals. certainly inside of his range. Is just a touch longer than an extra point, which he's been perfect on today and only missed one on the year. Snap back, spot is down. The kick is up. And the kick is good. With 1:41 left in the first half, the Dragons push their advantage out to 11, 31-20. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back at Donnell Stadium, where the Dragons have used some special teams play to set them out and put an 11-point lead up. A squib kick goes up the middle, and the Oilers, after a moment of dramatics, cover that one up around the 30-yard line, and that's where they'll go 1st and 10. Certainly, if the Oilers can put some points here on the board, you're certainly within things. Remember, this was an Oiler-Dragons matchup a year ago that saw the Dragons with a 13-point lead. Led it 13-0 early, and the Oilers came back and won that one in runaway fashion, but they're going to have an uphill climb here. As we said, the Dragons received the second half kickoff, so this possession is kind of important. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Bring a man in motion, so it's 3 to the right, and that's Schrader in motion. Back, steps up, flush from the pocket. Wensler looks. He's going to throw his check down to Schrader. Good job by Tanner to work his way back to the quarterback. A lot of people talk about how spending time as a receiver helped Ben Roethlisberger become a better quarterback, and I think that might be one of those examples where Tanner being a quarterback helped him be a better receiver to work back towards his quarterback. Five-yard pickup, 2nd and 5. 2 again to each side. Now put Schrader again in motion, make it 3 at the top. Wensler back, throws the check down in the middle, and that's an incomplete. They're going to say that Richardson never had a hold of that one. That's very similar to a play that Dragons had earlier in the half. So 3rd and 5 now for Finley. Two to the left, 2 to the right. Throw it complete. First down yardage and more as Marlon Richardson takes it out near midfield. They're going to spot him down at the Oilers side of midfield at the 49. Nice hand catch by Marlon that time. Fresh set of downs for Finley. Officials are stepping in here.
The 5-yard penalty will be forced from the end of the run.
Sideline interference against the Dragons. It's going to cost them 5. Takes it into Dragon territory at the 46. Of course, Dr. Jack in there observing the officials. I also know the GMAC head of officials is here today. Made a point of stopping by and told me to be on best behavior. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. Straight drop. Wensler lets it fly, looks, and nice defensive play. Marlon was doing a pretty good job of trying to work his position there, but the defensive back was in a nice position, came around and knocked it away. 2nd and 10. Schrader, Lynch, and Flowers split to the right. Richardson up top by himself. And there was a broken play. Matt Wensler was expecting to give that one to Nate Slagle, and Nate just left. And I said it before, I'll say it again, the Oilers right now are beating themselves right now. Turns us into 3rd and 13. Oilers back, look, and that got whistled down in confusion, and the Dragons at the last minute took a timeout. We're going to take it with them. Dragons lead at 31-20 back after this 30-second timeout on WLFC and UFTV.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. And Rob Key's trying to get an explanation from somebody that makes sense about that timeout. And I think he thinks it affected the clock, but I'm not sure. I don't want to guess for what Rob is doing, but the thing I know about Rob Keys is when he's questioning something, he usually has a pretty good reason to question it. And it's led to the officials conferencing now at the midfield stripe. And if it was about when that timeout was called, I don't think anything's going to happen to change it other than, yeah, it changed the clock.
Thank you.
They'll change that back out to 45. The Oilers will get back 5 seconds. Three to the right, one to the left are the Oilers on 3rd down and 13. Steps up, lets it fly, looking, has a man and overthrew it. Had Richardson, who had gotten some separation from the defensive back, but a little too much air, and it falls incomplete. Haven Street to kick it away here, try to pin him back deep. Wood sitting there at his own 10-yard line. Bad snap, collected. It's a great job by Mitch just to collect that one. Takes a hop and a skip to the favor actually of the Dragons before the Oilers corral it. So Mitch had his hands full just trying to field a snap that skipped twice to get back to him. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dragons at their own 21, and to be honest, I don't expect them to gamble a whole lot here with an 11-point lead and getting the second half kickoff, but I don't know. Coach Reeser might be wanting to make a statement here. We'll see. Two to the top, one to the near side. Give up the middle. And nothing there. I think discretion is going to be the better part of valor here. And that was Brunson on the carry that time. And that is probably going to be the last play of the half. And after one half of play, it's been the Dragons having the better of it, 31-20. We'll be back to talk with Director of Athletics Brandy Larita after this on 88.3 WLFC.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. We are at the half, and the Dragons, with some special teams play to close out the half, have an 11-point advantage, 31-20 in this one. We'll talk more about that later. Special halftime entertainment as the Dragon Marching Band is out here to perform before the Oiler Marching Brass. So a double feature here for the hometown. And pleased to be joined by Director of Athletics, Brandy Larita. And Brandy, first thing I want to talk about is this is a senior day. And it's that good news, bad news. It means that more than likely degrees are going to be bestowed at some point, or have been in some cases, and young men, and in the case of cheerleaders and band and young women, are going to head off into the next chapter of their life. But they're always going to be an Oiler.
Absolutely, they're always going to be ours. We tell them, once they're an Oiler, they're always ours. But senior days always take me by surprise when they walk across the field. I feel like they just got here. We had a couple that came across, and I said to them, there's no way you're done. You just arrived. So time flies. We're losing a ton of great young men and women to their careers, and they're going to do fabulous things. Some of them are, as you said, working on master's degrees because they've completed their undergrad already. So, yes, bittersweet day, but a really great group of seniors, both from the football team and the cheerleaders, and then the band will recognize theirs later. But a special day for them, and for us, it's always bittersweet.
It's also always an interesting day when Findlay and Tiffin match up. Everybody, as I've said several times, knows the story. Oilers are 26-1. Dragons certainly making a play to change those numbers a little closer to their favor here. But I think that's a good thing. I've said that for years. I make no qualms about the fact that I'm anti-Dragon because I'm Oiler to the bone, but I think it's a good thing when both teams are good. I think it's good for the conference that they're in. I think it's good for both teams. It's good for the communities that they have this rivalry. When it's good, I think it helps both schools.
I agree. I think it would be less fun if either of us were not competitive and it was a blowout and it wasn't an exciting game. I think every year is an exciting game, specifically in football with Tiffin. Nobody wants to beat each other more than these two teams on the field today. There's a lot riding on this game. But across the board, all of our sports, Tiffin has definitely become our rival, and our student athletes would say the enemy. That's who they want to beat. They want to make sure that they are on the top of whatever game they're playing when we're playing Tiffin. And Tiffin is out to beat us and knock us off in a lot of sports. So it's exciting. I'm very good friends with their athletic director, Lonnie Allen, and we say we're good friends, and till the game's over, then we'll be friends again, because during the game, we want to beat each other. But it's a great day. It's a great crowd today, despite the cold weather. I think it's deceivingly cold out. It looks a little bit nicer than it is. But a great crowd for both sides, so I think that shows how important this game is.
Certainly does, and there's a lot at stake here. You talk about the Dragons have their share of the GMAC title. The question is, can the Oilers take a piece of it here? There's the possibility of a bowl game, that new bowl game opportunity, and even still, if the Oilers win, still a chance at the playoffs, although I think if the three teams have to split the conference title, I think that diminishes their chance. But still, there's a lot at stake here as well.
A lot at stake. We laughed because we were going through scenarios and points scored against. It was this convoluted mess. But a lot rides on today, and I think coming out winning today is important for both teams. Both teams are hoping to move on to another game, whether it is the bowl game, the Crossroads game, or it is the NCAA playoffs. It's exciting. It is exciting to come down to week 11 and be playing for something. It makes it the whole season worthwhile. So we hope we can come out on top, but it's a great day.
Talk about postseason and playing for something. We've talked numerous times, and we should, about how the women's soccer team, how well they've done. They do get knocked out of the GMAC tournament semifinals, unfortunately, but there's still some things left to play for, and they're going to find out what their next destination is on Monday.
They will. They unfortunately did lose to Ohio Dominican on Thursday in the GMAC tournament, but they'll be back. We are currently ranked second in the region. And the way with women's soccer, it's a split regional, so the 1 and 2 seed host for the regional championship. And so we are slated right now, unless something crazy happens between now and Monday, that we'll be able to host a couple of games here on campus for women's soccer. And so we're excited about that. What a phenomenal season they've had. We're banged up. We laughed on Thursday at the game. They all looked like, we joked with them, old women walking off the field because they're beat up, and it's been a long season, but I think we've got a little bit more in us to play a couple of more games, so we're excited. Monday evening, we should learn our fate, but it's been a great year for them. Can't wait to see what they're going to do.
Certainly has been. Other things going on. Of course, back in my days on campus, Roughneck Wrestling had a lot of attention. They're getting a lot of attention this week, and as the Oiler Open is in full effect.
We've got 9 mats going on right now in the Kaler Center. Hundreds of competitors, everybody from our rival of Tiffin and Ashland are there to Michigan State and Kent State, and some really big programs are sending wrestlers there. So great competition. I say it's controlled chaos because everybody seems to make it all happen, but I have no idea how it all happens with all of the mats and the workers. But our staff does a great job. I think we've got some really phenomenal young wrestlers who have shown early that they're going to be a contender for postseason. So it's exciting. They're doing some big things. So if you want to, you're listening and don't want to come out into the cold, there's lots going on campus to go out and support the Oilers.
A lot of basketball going on this weekend. Ladies play Defiance today, but the men play Ferris. Matter of fact, we're going to pretty much hand off from this one to my buddy Jason Granger, who's in Big Rapids with Ferris, and then the men play again on Monday, so plenty of basketball as well.
Lots of basketball going on. Big weekend, specifically for the men. Any in-region game we learned last year will come back to haunt us if we slip up early. So big game today with Ferris. It's such a good rivalry with them. And what their program does. They're a very strong program. Historically, have been a great fit for us to play, and it's always a good game. So that'll be big today. Then they'll head to Northwood for another former GLIAC opponent. So big for them. The women today need to bounce back. Had a little bit of a stumble, headed to Ashland on Thursday, and I think we found out how good Ashland women's basketball is. As that program continues to be very strong. But we learned, I think, that our young women's basketball team will get better from that. A little bit of a tough loss on Thursday. So we'll see how they do today against Defiance in Croy Gymnasium and Niekamp Arena at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, you mentioned a young team, and that might even be an understatement. I was talking with Jim Whitty the other day, and I said, are you sure they all have their high school diplomas? Because they look really, really young, but it's a very talented young group of ladies there. And I think, much like the men, I think they're going to figure out some things here in these couple weeks, and I think they both have the potential to make some serious waves this year.
I agree, and we laughed because listening to the Ashland game on the radio, I was coming home from soccer, and I wanted to send Jason a message and say, I don't know our last names well enough to know who's got the ball at sometimes because we're all new. And he would say the names, and I'm like trying to pull up our roster and say, okay, that's ours, because they're also new, and it's exciting. They're working hard. They're doing some great things. Both the men's and women's programs spend hours upon hours outside of practice on their own time in the gym shooting to get better, and I think that will show on the court because they really want to win and want to improve. So I think they're going to both have great seasons. We'll just see how, I think it'll take the women maybe a little longer to get there.
Well, I don't want to leave anybody out. Let's finish off with volleyball. I know it's been a frustrating season for Coach Wick and the girls, but a good 5-set win over Ursuline.
Good 5-set win. I think that may have clinched them a spot in the conference playoffs. They are playing again today and hopefully can get another win, but they've had their troubles this year, still working hard. I think that's one of the testaments to the program is that it would have been very easy for our women to give up early on when they hit some roadblocks, but they haven't quit trying. They're working hard and want to make sure they're ending the season putting their best foot forward. So hopefully have some success today and get to go into that GMAC playoff.
All right, as always, appreciate your time. Let's hope maybe we have a reason to talk, but if not, it's been a great year.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much, Director of Athletics, Brandy Larita. And we're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll do a scoring recap and a look at the stats. Again, the Oilers trail 31-20. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Why do I choose Union Bank? Because they understand that I work hard for my money and deserve a reward, like everyday rewards checking. A checking account that rewards you with a refund on your ATM charges. Plus, you can get paid cash rewards or great interest rate rewards just for using your debit card or paying a bill online, right from your phone or tablet. Stop by the Union Bank today and ask about everyday rewards checking, or visit us online. Your community bank. Union Bank. Member FDIC.
Why do you want to go to college? To become something more? To find your line and go beyond it? To make someone's life better? To start on a path to a productive career? That's why the University of Findlay is here. Since 1882, a community of passionate learners, inspiring the best in each other.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. We are at the half. The Oiler Marching Brass giving their performance, and right now recognizing the senior band members. As we said, this is obviously a senior game, with it being the last home game of the year, which is usually the tradition and things. Let's go ahead and recap how we got to our 31-20 score in favor of the Dragons. Oilers went 3-and-out on their first drive, kicked it away, and then the Dragons put together a 71-yard drive that took 8 plays, 3 minutes and 6 seconds, capped off with a Nick Watson 7-yard run. The kick by A.J. Nikolai was good. It was 7-0. Oilers answered back with a 71-yard drive of their own that also was 8 plays. This one took 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Finished off with an Nate Slagle 2-yard run. The Chris Demler kick was good. We were knotted up at 7 apiece. Dragons come back again after getting a good return. Goes 65 yards in 10 plays, take just under 5 minutes to do it. Nick Watson on a 4th down play gets it in from 1 yard out. The kick by Nikolai was good. It was 14-7 Dragons. Oilers answer back again. They get a great kickoff plus a penalty. Put together a 4-play, 41-yard drive that took just a minute and 17 seconds. finished off with a Nate Slagle 23-yard pass from Winsler. The kick after was no good. Oilers trailed 14-13. Oilers would get the football back, though, after forcing a 3-and-out by the Dragons. Oilers would put together an 8-play, 71-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 57 seconds. Finish it off with a nice floating pass off the hand of Matt Winsler into the hands of Marlon Richardson from 17 yards out. The kick after by Chase Wilcox was good. Oilers were in front by a count of 20-14. Dragons got the football back. They put together a 2-play drive. They covered 55 yards in just 32 seconds. Jaquan Hardy had the second of those with a 13-yard run. And the kick by Nikolai was good. It was 21-20, and then things got a little bit crazy. The ensuing kickoff was a high, short one that, for the Oilers, quite honestly, nobody tried to field. The Dragons ran down and recovered it on the Oiler 20-yard line, and then just 4 plays later, Stanley Jackson Jr. hauled in an 8-yard touchdown pass from Nick Watson. The kick by Nikolai was good, 28-20, but the theatrics continued on. They tried the exact same kick again. The Oilers had changed up personnel, but the result was the same. They recover it around the Oilers' 20-yard line. The Oilers got a couple of tackles for loss that force it into a 21-yard field goal by A.J. Nikolai, 31-20. And then both teams finished off the half with a possession that produced nothing to get us to our numbers of 31-20. Take a look at some of the team numbers. First downs very close, 14-13 in favor of the Dragons. Take a look at penalties. 3 of them against, or sorry, that was first downs by penalty. Third down efficiency, pretty good for both teams. The Dragons of 5 of 9, the Oilers 5 of 8. The Dragons have run 38 plays for a total of 274 yards. The Oilers 32 for 193. And when you break that down, passing yards for each side, 123 for the Dragons. 141 for the Oilers. Then you look at rushing, 151 for the Dragons, and Jaquan Hardy has most of that damage, and 52 rushing yards for the Oilers with things there. Take a look at some of the other numbers. Oilers have gotten some good return yardage, especially out of Derek Lynch, which is what precipitated the high angling kicks by the Dragons, which turned into 2 turnovers in their favor. Neither team has been able to create a turnover in this one just yet. 5 penalties against the Dragons for 53 yards, 1 against the Oilers for 5. Take a look at some of the individual numbers. Nick Watson, 11 of 16 for 123 and a touchdown. Meanwhile, Winsler, 11 of 19 for 141 and a pair of touchdowns for him. Meanwhile, Jaquan Hardy, 15 carries, 128 yards, including a rushing touchdown in this one. Let's see. And then Nick Watson, 5 carries for 23 yards, and he has 2 touchdowns in that one. Running the football for the Oilers, Derek Lynch, 3 carries for 23. Nate Slagle, 4 for 19, and Brian Benson, 3 for 8. Receiving, Stanley Jackson, 3 catches for 57 yards and a touchdown. Gavin Woods, 4 for 47. Meanwhile, for the Oilers, Tanner Schrader, 5 for 45. Ruben Flowers, 2 for 36. Richardson, 2 for 32 and a touchdown. 2 for 28 for Nate Slagle and a touchdown as well. Go ahead and take a look at some of our GMAC scores. Alderson Broaddus trails KWC 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. It's Hillsdale on top of Ohio Dominican 7-3 with 13 minutes left in the second quarter of that one. And that could be big if the Oilers can come back in this one and come away with a win. And then if Hillsdale beats Ohio Dominican, the Oilers actually can kind of win the title, so to speak, on the tiebreakers. But we'll see how that all shakes out. Meanwhile, later today in the GMAC, Lake Erie is at Indy at 2, and Walsh is at Missouri Baptist at 2 as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the top 25 scores, and then we should just about be ready to get our second half underway. Alabama leading Mississippi State, having their way are the Tide, 35-7. Meanwhile, a good one between Penn State and Indiana. The Nittany Lions on top, 20-14, with 3 minutes left in the second. But Indiana with the football. See how that thing continues on. Meanwhile, at the half, Florida in a tight one against Missouri, 6-3. Wisconsin, the number 14 team in the country, with a 27-14 lead on Nebraska. Meanwhile, Michigan and Michigan State have gone to the half, and the Wolverines seem to have their house in order, so to speak. 17-7, they lead the Spartans in that one. At the half, it's all Oklahoma State over Kansas by a count of 24-0. Coming up here in just a little less than an hour, Navy and Notre Dame. Of course, the Buckeyes play Rutgers at 3:30, as do Clemson and Wake Forest hook up. Georgia and Auburn, which could be a big SEC matchup with that one. Then a little bit later, Memphis, Houston, Texas, Iowa State, West Virginia, Kansas State. Another Big Ten matchup will feature Minnesota, which that program getting a lot of attention. P.J. Fleck and company takes on Iowa, which is going to be big in that Big Ten West division of things. LSU and Ole Miss. Can the Tigers keep the beat going along? Cincinnati takes on South Florida, and a game later tonight. All right, we're just about ready to get things going here between the Oilers and the Dragons, and the Oilers trailing by 11. They're going to be kicking away to the Dragons, and that defense is going to have to step up with a couple stops if the Oilers are going to get back into this one. Demler again to handle the kickoff duties. Ball got blown off the tee. Two men back. Light breeze in Demler's face here. Goes with the high short kick. A fair catch is going to be called and made right around the 26-yard line. And that's where the Dragons go 1st and 10. Sun peeks back out from behind the clouds here, and it is a cool afternoon, but for the middle to end of November, I don't know that anybody's going to complain about this weather too awful much. And see what adjustments the Oilers make here, and they have made in the locker room. They're, again, going to have to find a way to slow down Jaquan Hardy, and Stanley Jackson Jr. started finding some room to out in the secondary there as that half went along. Handoff up the middle, and Hardy bounces it to the outside and takes it all the way across the midfield stride before Chris Jefferson finally runs him down. And I'm talking a lot about Jaquan Hardy, and he's made some plays. He's broken some tackles in the backfield and out in open space. But that offensive line, more times than not, is giving him a good running lane to start with. Oilers are without Justin Ellis today, unfortunately. 2 to the top, 1 to the near side, plus the tight end slotted. Gets the handoff, fake to Hardy, and he'll plow forward, Will Watson, as he pulled it out of the belly. Drives it to the Oiler 47-yard line. Pickup of 3, 2nd and 7 coming up. Logan Spire back into that defensive front. Same formation, 2 to the top, 1 to the near side. Give it to Hardy. He runs into a pile, and he'll push forward across the Oiler 45, just inside that 45. Set up a 3rd down and a long 4 here. Basenji in on the stop, along with Spire. Big 3rd and 4 here for the Oilers. So the half went on. The Dragons started using the outside passing game in these situations. See how they approach it here. Watson from the gun. Hardy to his left. Now bring a receiver in motion. Put him in the backfield. Sprint out by Watson. Pitches it out to the wideout. Oilers, they had him in the backfield for a loss. He breaks loose and into the secondary. 10-yard line, the 5-yard line. Touchdown is good blocking downfield. And for about the 4th time today, the Oilers have a chance to get off the field on 3rd down and stop them in the backfield, and they can't hold on to a tackle. And the Dragons push the advantage out to 37-20 with another point after try coming. Bring on Nikolai. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 13:08 left. Dragons lead at 38-20 over Findlay. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieve a lot of the financial burden.
You might be surprised at how much money is in the walls of this old house. With a Union Bank Home Equity Line of Credit, the equity from your home can be used for whatever you need. College tuition, paying off those credit cards, even home improvement. And there are no closing costs. Best of all, you work with Union Bank loan professionals right here in your hometown. Go to theubank.com for details. Union Bank, your community bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium, and the Oilers have given themselves an uphill climb here. And Dragons getting ready to kick it off, and the wind blows it off of the tee. We'll reset everything. Boy, the Oilers had that right where they wanted. They had him stacked up for a loss, would have forced a punt, but just not able to finish the tackle in the backfield, and then winds up in the Oiler end zone for the touchdown. 44-yard touchdown run for Devin Butler. And again, it gets blown off the tee, so I'm going to guess they're going to make him hold it now. That's 4 straight scores by the Dragons. See how they approach this one. As we said, Derek Lynch has had several strong returns. Wind slightly at their back. Now it's turned into more of a cross breeze than it has been most of the game. Blast this one. Moorhand will fair catch it at the 10, take it out to the 25. First and 10 for the Oilers. So let's see if this Oiler offense can put some things together, maybe get things going back in the Oilers' favor here. Bring Lynch in motion across the formation. Handoff goes to Benson, and not much there. Matter of fact, he's going to get pushed back after a forward progress of 1. Well, the running game has not been able to get going here. Second down and 9 coming up. Two to the right, 1 to the left. Wensler with Benson to his left. Fake the give, throw over the top. Flowers complete, and it's going to be a foot race. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. 10, 5, and just dove and tackles him and brings him down at about the 2. Beautiful throw from Wensler, and it looked like for a brief moment there, Ruben was going to be able to get away, but a well-timed dive just gets his ankle and holds him out at the 2. Slagle will check into the backfield. Brown, the blocking fullback. Also Denzel in there in the backfield as well. Pull it out of the belly, popped up, and off the hands of Flowers. They tried getting him looking for the run and try to catch Ruben on the quick one, and a little bit high, had trouble controlling it, and actually kind of fortunate that that tipped up in the air, wasn't picked off. 2nd and goal from the 2. This time they will give it to Slagle, and there's nothing there. Call it no gain. It's going to be 3rd and goal from that same 2-yard line. Lynch checks into the line out. Denzel comes out. Lynch spread to the right, Flowers to the left. Slagle stays in the backfield with Brown. Bring Lynch in motion. Fake the give to him. Now Winslow trying to boot up the backside, being chased, throws it back in. Shorts it, was looking for Jacob Brown, and down by 18. I don't know. We'll see how Coach Keys decides to play, but I feel like you got to go here. Nope. He's going to kick the field goal. Figuring he's going to need that 3 at some point. He'll bring on Chase Wilcox. This will be spotted down at the 9, so a 19-yard attempt. Snap back, spot down, the kick is up. And the kick is good. 10:58 left in the 3rd quarter. And the Oilers cut into the lead a little bit, 38-23. Back in a moment after this 60-second timeout on WLFC and UFTV.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Welcome back to Donnell and the high short kick by the Oilers and the fair catch made by the Dragons, and they'll take it right there at the 25-yard line. That's where it'll be 1st and 10. Chase Wilcox's 19-yard field goal caps off the drive for the Oilers. Get them within 15, 38-23. Obviously some stops are going to have to occur, and there hasn't been any turnovers in this game. Boy, you'd love to see Chris Jefferson come up with interception number 10 right about now. 2 to the near side, 1 to the top of the receivers. Fake the give to Brunson, drops back, airing it out, going up top, has a man, and just not able to hold on. Got behind Fada Huntsy. And in and out of the receiver's hands. Oilers catch a little bit of a break there. Going to set up a 2nd down and 10 now, and Dragons keeping the foot on the accelerator. Got to respect that. They've watched over the years, watch leads evaporate against the Oilers, and trying to make sure that doesn't happen here. 2 to the near side, 1 to the top on 2nd and 10. The give to Brunson, and nothing there. No gain. 3rd and 10 coming up. Oilers have Colin Robertson checking the lineup along with Kostelik, Luke Edwards, David Marbury. Three receivers strung to the right. One up top. Watson taking his time to give up the middle and running room, but stopped shy of the first down. And Brunson on the carry. It's the first time he's been able to get his legs stretched a little bit, but still going to be about 3 yards shy of the first down. 4th and 3. And what is probably a punting situation here. Orlando to handle the punting duties. And shanked it hard. Takes a sideways hop out of bounds around the Dragon 42. Wow, they're going to give him all the way to the 44. There's no way that ball went out at the 44. It didn't even land at the 44. It landed at the 43 and then went backwards. But still outstanding field position for the Oilers. So a chance here for the Oilers. Let's put a touchdown on the board here. It gets them right back into this one. Still a lot of time left. 9:29 left in the third quarter. 38-23. Dragons on top. Oilers tight formation. Stack a couple receivers up top. Flowers split to the near side. Fake the give to Benson. Rolls out. Now throws it to Benson. And he takes it forward for a pickup of about 3 before being hit in space and dropped. Richardson on the stop. That's that redshirt sophomore cornerback out of Cincinnati. Showed good closing speed there. 2nd and 7 for Finley. String 3 receivers to the left. Flowers on the outside, Schrader on the inside, in between them, Richardson. Wensler straight drop, throws the check down again to Benson, and Benson forced out of bounds, about a yard, maybe 2 shy of the first down. So middle linebacker Murtis that time on the stop, brings up a 3rd and 2. Need to get inside the 35 to the 34. Slagle into the lineup, bring in the extra tight end. Be Flowers and Schrader split to the left side. Brown in the backfield on the same side as the tight end. And Slagle powers to the left side and gets the first down. Good block at the point of attack. The Oilers move the sticks. Got that all the way to the 30. 1st and 10. Reuben Flowers split to the right. Richardson and Schrader to the left. Benson back into the backfield. Back looking. Throws back across the middle, intercepted. And looking to tear it upfield across midfield, then cuts it back to the middle. Schrader's going to tackle him back at the midfield stripe. Now, Oilers actually, what they wanted to do is they had lined they had lined Slagle up in the backfield as that blocking fullback position, and they were hoping to slip him out of the backfield and catch him in space. That wasn't there. Wensler turned his eyes up, and then Conti just stepped in front and took that one away. It's the first interception by Wensler since the ODU game. And it comes at a great time for the Dragons and an unfortunate time for the Oilers. First turnover of the game for either team. First and 10 right at the midfield stripe. 2 receivers up top, single receiver on the near side. Fake the give. Watson will be brought down after a short pickup. Good tackle by Kyle Gibson at the Oiler 49. Second and 9, clock continuing to move. 7:07. left in the third quarter. Dragons on top, 38-23. Share the GMAC title at stake for the Oilers. 2 up top, 1 in the near side. Fake the give. Hardy lets it fly, looking up top and complete, and then stepping out of bounds. Stepped out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Going to be first and goal for the Dragons there. And I mentioned it on the earlier drive. Dragons keeping their foot on the accelerator. Keep attacking here. Two to the left, one to the right. Back, looking, end zone, and a nice play by Caldwell. Kajana Caldwell, he got chucked off with no call from the official, but he bounced back and made a play on the ball to keep it away. Kajana, of course, early in the season made that conversion from wide out to corner. Came up with a nice play there. Second and goal from that 10-yard line again. Handed off on the motion, and the Oilers right there to stop it, and no gain. So third and goal from the 10. Kenzinger on the tackle for Finley. Talk about the seniors. That's one of them who's playing his last home game here today. Justin Ellis, of course, wasn't able to go. We talked about Luke Edwards. That secondary, Richard Scheller, who went out with an injury. Watson back looking, end zone, and touchdown. And Fada Hunsey thought he had help over the top, and it wasn't there. That's the second time that's happened, and the Dragons have taken advantage of it. And both times for touchdowns. He was expecting Cade Rogers to come over, and he released him, and Cade came too late. Fana Hunsey, another one of those seniors on this Oiler defensive unit. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 5:33 left in the third. Dragons extend the lead, 45-23. Back in a moment on 88.3 WLFC and UFTV.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Welcome back to Donnell Stadium. High, short kick. Fair catch was called, but it was bobbled, and then Slagle falls on top of it. Tell you what, that's been an absolute circus for the Oilers today. And because it was not cleanly fair caught, it goes back to where it was recovered at the 21 for the Oilers. Wide out each side. Bring Lynch in motion. Get the handoff, try the sweep action to the right. Turns it up. Nice pickup on first down. Takes it out near the 28, maybe the 29. Well, they must say he skidded his knee down before then. They mark it back at the 26, so we'll pick up a 5. 2nd and 5. Don't forget, after this one, we'll be handing it off to my good buddy Jason Granger, who's up in Big Rapids with the Oiler men's basketball team, taking on Ferris State. Try sweeping it to the near side. This time, the Dragons swarm it and stop it for a loss. Back to the 25, so make it 3rd and 6. Well, they're still looking to the sideline to get the play. Richardson and Lynch going to split to the right. Flowers to the left. Back, looking, pump fakes. Now lets it fly, looking for Flowers up the field, and he holds on. I tell you what, that's just a tough catch. That's a tough catch made by a great receiver right there. Carrington Conti was right there. And Ruben did a couple things. He waited to the last second to get his hands up there, and then he flashed it and stayed strong all the way to the ground. Takes it down to the Dragon 30-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10. Flowers goes split to the right. Richardson and Lynch to the left. Lynch goes in motion, fakes the handoff to him, comes back, looking for Slagle, complete, stays on his feet. Did he get to the end zone? No, they say he steps out at the 2. Great catch by Nate Slagle. That's back-to-back great catches by Oilers. Line judge was right there. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's take a look at it on the replay for those watching on the stream. Boy, I don't know that he got out of bounds. But Oilers will have it 1st and goal from there. See if they can finish it this time. His foot was close to that line, I'll say that. Update on another GMAC score. Hillsdale still leads ODU 7-3, this time at the half. That's big for the Dragons as well. If the Dragons hold on, and that's the case, then Dragons will be sole champions. Throwback and into the end zone, touchdown. And the Oilers ran a little bit of misdirection and then checked the extra tight end out into space and threw it to him for the touchdown. That's number 90, who's not on my roster. I believe he might be a converted lineman. So I'm going to look to my good friend Kyle Neerman to help me out there since it's not on the roster, and we'll see what the stat page says here in just a moment. We're going to keep it here in between, so everybody just stay patient. They say it's Clay Colvin who they converted and has the touchdown on the 2-yard pass from Winsler. And then the Chase Wilcox kick was good. And the Oilers cut the deficit down to 15, 45-30. Still a lot of time left in this one, 2:38 left in the third. We got all of the fourth. We'll see what the Oilers can come up with. But obviously some defensive stops are going to have to be part of that equation. Is that right? What? Is that Clay? Yeah. Okay. We get confirmation. That's Clay Colvin, who's normally lined up at that tackle position, but wearing jersey number 90 and goes in as a tight end there. We talk about seniors. He's one of them. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen who start for the Oilers are seniors. Oilers go with the high short kick and diving for it and pulling it in around the 30 is one of the return men, and that'll give them pretty good field position. Mentioned Clay Colvin, Neil Davis, Andrew Dickinson, the All-American Logan Bailey. Those are all seniors in this Oiler offensive unit. Luke Stufel, who wasn't able to go today because of injury, he's a senior. William Moorhand, a senior. Nate Slagle, a senior. Wish them all the best as they go in their future endeavors. So 1st and 10 for the Dragons, whose lead's been cut down to 15. Play action, looking, lets it fly, and caught again downfield. Again, gets away. This time, Cade Rogers, the safety, had the coverage, and right now Stanley Jackson just eating up the Oilers all by himself. And he's not going to be forced out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to spot it, at the 23-yard line. First and 10 from there as the Dragons, again, keep on the pressure. Hand off to Hardy. Breaks a couple of tackles before being driven back around the 20-yard line. 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6. Isaac Miles on the stop for Finley. Isaac, another one of those seniors, along with Anthony Kostelik in that linebacking core. Handoff, sidesteps Amanda's Hardy, stays on his feet, and finally brought down around the 17-yard line. Sets up a 3rd down and about 3.5, maybe 4. Good pursuit that time by Finley. Dragons obviously in no hurry, coming up on 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter. High snap, gets it down, gets it in the belly of Brunson, and he sidesteps. And Brunson hasn't shown much today, but he got a chance to make some space there. Quick little shuffle move, gets a 1st down inside the Oiler 10, and it'll be 1st and goal from there. Hardy checks back into the lineup for the 1st down play. Grant Kinsinger on the stop. Dragons have to run a play here as there's about 8 seconds difference between game clock and play clock here on the 3rd quarter. Two to the left, one to the right. Play action fake, quick throw out, and the flat complete, touchdown. Watson getting it done with his arm here in the 2nd half. In the 1st half, it was largely the legs of him and Hardy. But here in the 2nd half, he's been throwing it all over the place and finding open targets every place he goes. And in some cases, even when they're not open. Nikolai for the point after try. So the Oilers come down and get a touchdown, but the Dragons answer right back. Kick is up. And the kick is good. 8 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. The Dragons lead at 52-30. Back in a moment on WLFC.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Welcome back to Donnell Stadium. A high, short kick. Running up to field it is Moorhand. Moorhand jives across the 30 and out near the 35. And that's where the Oilers will be going 1st and 10. Winsler leads them back out there. Open up with Benson in the backfield. Schrader and Flowers to the right. Fake the handoff. Winsler pump fakes once, lets it fly, and almost pulled in by Rubin. He needed to take a step towards that ball. He allowed the defensive back some space to get in there by not coming back to the ball. Falls incomplete. It's going to end the third quarter. After 3 quarters of play, Dragons lead at 52-30 back after the 60-second timeout on WLFC and UFTV.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours. In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. Getting ready to start the fourth quarter. Oilers looking at a 2nd and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Winsler back, throw out quick. That's Richardson, and he drives for first down yardage across the 45 and out to the 47. More on the stop for the Dragons, but not before the first down. Flowers to the near side, Schrader and Richardson up top. Winsler fakes the give. Now he's going to be flush from the pocket and just has to throw it away. Flag was thrown at the feet. I think they're going to get a defensive hold here. Yeah, defensive hold against the Dragons as Rubin went to come out of his break. Worst news for the Oilers is that Rubin is down and not getting up, and the training staff has come over. Now Rubin's going to try to get to his feet.
Holding.
Rubin, the Lima
Defense,
senior
number
product,
10-yard penalty from the
who
previous
comes to
spot.
Findlay by way of
Automatic
the
first
University
down.
of Pittsburgh. So the Oilers will get the first down on the defensive hold. Rubin's still trying to get to his feet. He's up on 1 foot and 1 knee, but let's hope that's nothing serious. Two to the left, one to the right are the receivers. Winsler back, looks, throws to Slagle out of the backfield. He backs his way out of bounds near the 38-yard line of the Dragons. Moorhand and Schrader go up top. Richardson to the right. And they go ahead and give it to Benson, and Benson finds a seam. He surges for first down yardage and then some inside the 30 down to about the 29. Conti comes up on the stop, but not before a nice run by Bryan. Slagle into the lineup. So they'll have Slagle and Benson both in there. Two to the left, one to the right. Wensler back, airs it out, looking for Richardson in the end zone. Touchdown Oilers. Got himself some separation in a beautifully thrown ball by Matt Wensler. And the Oilers again cut it down, but this time the Oilers are going to go for two. Oilers will go with a four-receiver package. Good to see Reuben Flowers back in there. He's going to split to the left. Two to the right. Back, looks, quick throw, complete, and the two-point conversion is good on the throw to Tanner Schrader. And with 13-13 left in the game, the Oilers have cut it down to a 14-point deficit, 52-38. Back after this on WLFC.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Welcome back out, Donnell Stadium. Demler getting ready to kick it off. A high angling kick that's going to go out of bounds, not even close. In that procedure call, I'm guessing the Dragons will take it at the 35, but we'll see what they decide to do. Oilers continue to battle in this one. You got to give them credit for that.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team number 99.
Chris Reesert and his crew have done a nice job as well. And, well, you hate to dwell on the negatives, but those back-to-back kickoffs that the Oilers did not field that essentially worked as onside kicks for the Dragons. How different this game might look without those two plays. But still plenty of time, over 13 minutes left here. If the defense can come up with a couple stops, this offense has found some rhythm. Hand off to Hardy, and he bounces it to the outside, now cuts it back to the middle, 15-yard pickup, and out to midfield. I'll tell you what, they've got weapons all over the place. I mean, Watson's a weapon all by himself, but Jaquan Hardy is real deal. And then these receivers have certainly shown the ability to get open, and when they do, Watson finds them. And to be honest, the Oilers haven't gotten close to getting their hands on Watson in the backfield, and a lot of that credit belongs to this offensive line for the Dragons. Two to the left, one to the right. Fake the handoff, quick throw out in the flat to Jackson, and he gets upended, but not before he dives for a first down. Correction, that was Woods. Again, I think these uniforms should be illegal. Yellow on white is almost impossible to read. First and 10 at the Oiler 39. I'd really like to see this Oiler defense come up with a turnover here. They've done such a great job all year long. We mentioned coming in, this Oiler team was plus 16. They're plus 15 after the interception that thrown by Wensler in the first half, but hand off Hardy. This time the Oilers able to get in there and limit to about a 1-yard gain. Basinji in on the stop. To Lowi. Those will change out some personnel, get Kyle Gibson back in there. They're actually going to call it no gain. 2nd and 10. String 3 to the left, Will Watson, 1 to the right. Keeps Hardy in there to his right and then makes a slight change. Back, looks, flush from the pocket, and Oilers are going to rip him down. He'll manage to get out of the pocket and escape for a couple of yards, but bring up a 3rd down and long situation here. And those Oilers trying to rip at that football as they were bringing him down, just no luck. Oilers need this stop. Clock continuing to move. 10:35 and counting. Third and a short 8 here. Cluster of 3 receivers to the right. Play action fake. Steps up and overthrows his target. Had a man cut loose. Was looking for Woods again, but not able to find him, and that brings up a 4th down. And right now, they're keeping the offensive unit out there. Now they're going to start to walk him off and bring on the punt unit. They had him thinking for a moment. Orlando, the punter, who was also handling most of those kickoffs today. Tanner Schrader back at the 10. Wobbly kick that skips out of bounds. Looks like around the 15 maybe. Maybe even the 17. Not bad a result for the Oilers there. Chance for this offense. Trailing by 14, 52-38. Put a score on the board here. Maybe you make them nervous. Richardson split out wide to the left. Inside of him is Schrader. Flowers split to the right. Benson in the backfield. Hand off to Benson. He's going to get pulled down from behind and drop for a loss. Robinson in on the stop. The 6'4" sophomore out of East Cleveland. Loss of a couple for the Oilers. Three to the right, 1 to the left. Slagle in the backfield. Flush from the pocket is Wensler, throws it back across to Schrader. He's going to be close to 1st down yardage, and with that spot, looks like he has it. And he does. Nice job again by Tanner. That's the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen him work back and help out Wensler when he's in scramble mode. Back is Wensler looking to throw. Airs it out and overthrew it a little bit on Lynch. Update you on some other scores. Kentucky Wesleyan leads Alderson Broaddus at the half, 20-17. Just underway in the first quarter. Indianapolis leads Lake Erie by a count of 7-0. And in the first quarter, Walsh leads Missouri Baptist 7-0. Here the score, 52-38. Dragons on top. 3 left, 1 right. Oilers making a change. They need to make it quick. Play clock is at 5. Give to Slagle. Nate drives his way out. They're going to spot him down at about the 34. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 4. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Oilers right back to the line of scrimmage. Wensler, middle screen, completes it to Slagle. He bounces off, has 1st down yardage, still on his feet as he avoids another tackler. Still dragging another man. He stays on his feet, takes it inside the 35, and that's a man on a mission, folks. Outstanding effort by Nate Slagle. He was initially stopped 2 or 3 yards shy of a first down, and he turns it into a huge gain, breaking multiple tackles and dragging would-be tacklers with him. The senior out of Loveland says, I'm not ready to be done yet. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Wensler back, lets it fly, and almost intercepted. That just must have slipped out of Matt's hand, because he threw that off the shoulder pad of a Dragon defender. Incomplete. Bring in Lynch and Schrader. And they'll go up to the top of the formation with Marlon Richardson. Flowers comes to the right side. That's the short side of the field. Cluster 3 at the top. Slagle in the backfield on 2nd and 10. The give, Nate bursts up the middle, close to first down yardage. Going to be about 1.5 yards shy. Sets up a 3rd and about 2. Obviously 4 down territory here for the Oilers. Benson back in, Slagle out. Again, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Fake the give. Wensler's going to keep it himself. He needed to give that up to Benson. He didn't read that. He just decided he was going to go because he pulled it out and was facing 3 Dragons. Loss of 1 yard or 2 back to the 25, and on 4th and a long 2, short 3 here. Oilers obviously going to go. Mentioned Slagle, 8 carries for 40 yards, but 5 catches for 94 and a touchdown. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Complete to Flowers for the first down as he's flipped over inside the 15. He took a shot on the knee, though, and he's going to get tough. He says, no, I'm in. He gets back up and says, I'm good. Another tough play. Watch it again here on the replay for those watching the video feed. Moves the sticks. Clock's moving. 6:41 and counting. Oilers trail by 14, but driving here. 2 left, 2 right of the receivers. Wensler, pump fakes, lets it go. Ooh, that was dangerous. Wanted Marlin, but I think he was trying to throw that one away. Floated up there a little dangerously for a moment. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10. Two to the left, 1 to the right this time. And the delay give to Slagle pushes down to about the 12. Call it 3rd and 6, maybe 3rd and 7. Again, Oilers in 4 down territory, but now the clock is as much an issue in this thing as anything. We just now hit 6 minutes left in the game, and the clock is moving. 2 left, 1 right on 3rd. Down here. Play action, steps up, throws, and knocked away. Looking for Jacob Brown, his fullback who slipped out. Now the Oilers looking at 4th down and that same 6-7 yards. Oilers will check in Lynch. Tiffin faithful getting loud over on their side. I mentioned a good crowd made the trip down 224. Oilers having trouble getting aligned here. They need to take a timeout, and well, we get a flag. Play clock had not expired. And a 5-yard procedure call. Oilers were all looking at each other, pointing in 3 different directions.
Illegal snap, offense number 53. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Called an illegal formation. So now the Oilers looking at 4th and about 12. Throw it underneath to Richardson. He needs to turn it up to get the first down. Did he get the first down? He got the first down, and he made a lunge for the end zone. They're going to say he stepped out before the first down. Oilers got away with an offensive hold. Not going to lie about it. Officials' time here. And they'll reset the play clock. And we got an injured Dragon down. So they're going to bring the training staff over to take a look at him. Hopefully that's nothing serious there as they got tied up over there. 5:44 left here. Oilers are going to have it 1st and goal at the 2. Well, yeah, 1st and goal at the 2 here when we resume. We're going to give this a moment here, see if they can get the young man up and we can get things going here. And then with 5:44, you're going to have a decision. Do you try to do the onside kick? Do you try to just get the stop? But first things first, the Oilers got to find a way to take care of the score. Injured man is off and walking on his own power. A little bit of a limp to things. Again, Oilers trail by 14, but now 1st and goal at the 2. Load up with a jumbo package. They were getting ready to start, but the injured player was not quite off. He is now. Trying to get the clock. There we go. Got it where they want it. The give to Slagle. And Nate's going to be pulled down at about the 1. Looked like there was the briefest of holes, but somebody came swinging around on the back side and was able to get a hold of an ankle from behind. Clock continues to move. 5:15 left. 2nd and goal from the 1 this time. Winsler throws and almost intercepted. I'll tell you what, Ruben Flowers had to play defensive back there because that was thrown to the inside and Ruben needed it on his back shoulder. And so now the Oilers looking at 3rd and goal from that same one. Clock does stop at 5:05. Change out some personnel. Bring Richardson back in there. Two receivers left, one to the right. Now bring Lynch in motion across the formation. Stop him in the backfield. He'll get the give. He'll slice and dice and got into the end zone. Touchdown Oilers. Kept on fighting, did the little man. And the Oilers now within 8 and an extra point away from being within 7. Chase Wilcox on for the point after try. Snap back, spot is down, the kick is up. And the kick is good. Exactly 5 minutes left in the game. Oilers cut it to a 7-point deficit, 52-45. Back after this on WLFC and UFTV.
Why do I choose Union Bank? Because they understand that I work hard for my money and deserve a reward, like everyday rewards checking. A checking account that rewards you with a refund on your ATM charges. Plus, you can get paid, cash rewards, or great interest rate rewards just for using your debit card or paying a bill online, right from your phone or tablet. Stop by the Union Bank today and ask about everyday rewards checking, or visit us online. Your community bank. Union Bank. Member FDIC.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us.
To intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium, where the Oilers have managed to make this one a little more interesting. Back-to-back touchdowns, first by Marlon Richardson, a 29-yard catch from Winsler, and now the 1-yard touchdown run by Lynch has the Oilers within 7 with 5 minutes left. Demler on to kick it away. High, short kick, fielded, and fair catch apparently made. Inside the 30, around the 28. And that's where the Dragons will go 1st and 10. So first things first, defense has got to get the football back. At the very least, get the 3 and out and force the punt, but Lord knows a turnover would be welcome. Curious to see how the Dragons decide to handle this. They've been keeping their foot on the accelerator, has Coach Reesert. Are they going to do that? Are they just going to try to run the football? Let's see. 2 receivers to each side. And the Dragons ended up burning a timeout. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Back with more after this on WLFC and UFTV.
Why do I choose Union Bank? Because they understand that I work hard for my money and deserve a reward, like everyday rewards checking. A checking account that rewards you with a refund on your ATM charges. Plus, you can get paid, cash rewards, or great interest rate rewards just for using your debit card or paying a bill online, right from your phone or tablet. Stop by the Union Bank today and ask about everyday rewards checking.
Welcome back out to Donnell Stadium. 1st and 10 for the Dragons at their own 29-yard line. Hand off to Jaquan Hardy and makes the initial man miss, pushes across the 30 out to the 32, maybe the 33. Clock continuing to move. ODU has moved in front 10-7 over Hillsdale with 6:04 left in the 3rd quarter. It's another game that's important to this series of who's going to come away with what part of the GMAC title. 2 to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd down and 7. Hardy's still in the backfield. He'll get the handoff again, and he'll fight to about the 34. Maybe the 34 and a half. 3rd down and right around 5. Yeah, call it 3rd and 5. He's got to get to the 39-yard line. They went ahead and put the football on the 35. The initial spot looked to be closer to 34, but Oiler faithful come to their feet. The Dragon faithful come to their feet. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. How aggressive is Coach Reesert going to be here? Watson back, looks, has time, lets it fly, and knocked away. Getting up and getting a piece of it was Kajana Caldwell to knock it away, incomplete. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 4, and the Dragons going to have to punt it away to the Oilers. I tell you, if he jumps his route a little differently, if he jumped a little bit too early, did Kajana, He waits that jump a little bit. He might have been picking it. But still a chance here. Orlando to punt it away. He's struggled a little bit in the punt game. Wide snap, gets a hold of it, and he hits a wobbler that's going to go wide and short. It's going to take a little bit of a Tiffin roll before it goes out of bounds, but the Oilers are going to have great field position here as they take over at their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10. So after everything that has went not the Oilers' way in this one, Oilers with a chance to drive down the field and perhaps tie this one up. Other scores, Indy up 21-0 with 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And Missouri Baptist and Walsh knotted up at 7 apiece in the second quarter. Two to the near side are the receivers. Play action, throw it out in the flat, complete to Richardson. He picks up a block, and he drives for a first down and then some out to midfield stripe. And the Oilers fans getting a little bit excited here. Oilers send 2 to the left. 1 to the right. That's Flowers on the near side here. Slagle in the backfield. Nate gets the handoff. And he finds a seam on the right side. Breaks it down inside the 35 and down near the 33. Clock will hold while they move the sticks. 2:56 left here. Oilers trail by 7, but driving the football. Richardson split to the left, Flowers split to the right. Put Schrader out to the left as well. Keep Slagle in the backfield. He'll get the give again, and this time going to be submarine for a loss. Big play in space. That was Latrell Robinson. Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 now for Finley. Also important, the clock continues to move. 2:10 and counting. Play action, boots out, throws it, and Nate not able to hold on to it. Not sure Nate was going to get very far with it there. Is not far behind him was Zach Goki. Switch out the blocking fullback for the receiver. I was going to go with a 4-receiver package here. Slagle's going to stay in the backfield. Richardson, Lynch, and Schrader being a cluster on the right. Flowers to the left. Throws the check down, and not much there. Get through it to Slagle, and he's going to take it back to the 35, and now the Oilers looking at a 3rd down and about 12. Jason Granger standing by. And as soon as we can, we will get it off to him in Big Rapids for the Oiler men's basketball game. On 4th down, Winsler off the hands. Would have been a first down, and the Oilers instead are going to turn it over on downs. Schrader almost looked like he wasn't looking for the ball as it bounced off of his arm. He would have had a first down around the 22 of the Dragons, but as it is, it turns over on downs. Oilers still have 3 timeouts here. Pretty good throw by Winsler. It looked like Tanner was looking in another direction when the ball got there. Seeing if he had space or I don't know, but either way, turns it over on downs. The Oilers now going to have to use their timeouts and keep the Dragons from a first down. 3 receivers all split to the left for Tiffin. The give to Jaquan Hardy. And he spins off a couple of guys, gets a first down just like that. 12-yard pickup out to his own 47-yard line. Clock will stop while they move the sticks. Oilers are going to burn the timeout. Tough break for the Oilers there. Oilers huddling on the near side. We're keeping it here as we're getting ready to wind down. As I said, Jason Granger coming up, getting ready for the Oilers and the Bulldogs of Ferris State. And then the Oiler men's team will be in action again on Monday as they make the trip to Midland from Big Rapids. Take on the Timberwolves on Monday. Two big games in region for the Oiler men's team. Three to the left. Obviously, Jaquan Hardy still in the backfield. On 1st and 10, the handoff. And he breaks a couple of tackles again, still dragging people. And he gets another first down. And they're still scrumming over. And finally gets it down. Well, that's Jaquan Hardy being a man right there. He broke 4 tackles within 6 yards, and then they all scrummed over and went an additional 7. Rob Keys will use his second time.
Finley, their second.
With 1:08 left. Yeah, you tip your hat to the Dragons. They've done what they needed to do. They took advantage of a couple of miscues by the Oilers. Well, what has certainly been done is another chapter in this rivalry has been written. And with the way this one's looking, it's going to be the Oilers who are talking about trying to avenge this next year. Appreciate the resilience of this Oiler team after those 2 misplayed kick returns. It would have been easy just to fold tent, but this team battled back. Gave themselves a chance. Just weren't able to convert the 4th down. Pretty deep in Dragon territory. They'll go with the victory formation, will the Dragons. Watson takes the knee. Rob Keys will burn his 3rd and final timeout. But that's only going to make it 2nd and 10. And it's been a good year for the Oilers overall. Of course, the tough loss to open up the season. They went for 2 to try to tie it at Ferris State. Came up a little bit short. Then bounced back with a win over Northwood. The tough loss at Ohio Dominican. But then the Oilers went on a tear. Going through Alderson Broaddus, Kentucky Wesleyan, Walsh. Big win over Hillsdale. Convincing victory there, 41-16. Tough loss at Notre Dame, a game that they had chances in, 24-19. And then Lake Erie, the big win last week over the Ashland Eagles, but going to fall here, fall to 7-4 on the season, 5-2 in GMAC play. Takes the knee, and they're going to have to technically snap it one more time, will the Dragons. But we're going to run a quick wrap up here. We're not even going to take a timeout, just so my TV guys know. We're not going to take a timeout here at the end of this. We're going to go a quick stats recap, a scoring recap and stats recap, and then we'll close things out here. Again, the victory formation. And the Dragon fans on the far side, they're enjoying it and letting the Oiler fans know about it, but they've been long suffering in this matchup. And that is going to be that. Your final score, the Dragons 52, the Oilers 45. Let's go ahead and recap the scoring for you. It was the Dragons getting on the board first. A Nick Watson 7-yard touchdown run and a kick by Nikolai made it 7-0. Oilers answered back with an 8-play drive that was capped off with a 2-yard run by Nate Slagle. The Demler kick was good. We were knotted up at 7. Dragons put together another 10-play, 65-yard drive this time, and it was Watson again from a yard out on a 4th down play. The kick by Nikolai was good, 14-7 Dragons. Oilers answered back with a 4-play, 41-yard drive that Nate Slagle took it in the last 23 on a pass from Matt Winsler. The kick, though, was missed missed. Oilers were down by 1. They get the football back, though, and the Oilers put together a 71-yard drive, capped off by a touchdown pass to Marlon Richardson. Oilers were in front 20-14 after the Chase Wilcox kick. But the Dragons answer back. They put together a 2-play 55-yard drive after the interception. Jaquan Hardy went in from the final 13 yards, and then a couple of mistakes for the Oilers. A botched play on the kickoff return, gave it to the Dragons on the 20. They went 4 plays to cover that last 20, an 8-yard touchdown pass to Stanley Jackson. Then another misplayed kickoff, gave them the football around the 20-yard line again. They went 4 plays before settling for a Nikolai field goal of 21 yards. It was 31-20. And then we move on to the second half. Dragons put together that opening drive, 4 plays, 74. They were out in front, 18 points, 38-20. Oilers come back with a Chase Wilcox field goal, made it 38-23 at that point before the Dragons get another touchdown pass from Watson to Stan Jackson, capping off a 5-play, 50-yard drive. The Nikolai kick was good. They were in front, 45-23. Oilers come back with a touchdown pass from Winsler to Clay Colvin, capping off a 79-yard touchdown drive. But then the Dragons answered again. Gavin Woods pulls in a 9-yard touchdown pass from Nick Watson. The Nikolai kick was good. It was out to a 52-30 lead at that point. Oilers answer back, though. They put together a 65-yard drive that took just 5 plays. Richardson pulls in a 29-yard touchdown. The 2-point conversion to Tanner Schrader was good, and the Oilers were within striking distance at that point, 38-52. They get the football back, put together an 83-yard drive, 16 plays. Derek Lynch took in from the final yard, and after the Chase Wilcox kick, the Oilers were within 7. Oilers then got the football back again. They drove down deep, but not able to convert a 4th down play, and then the Dragons able to run out the remainder of the time. Quick look at some of the individual numbers in this one. Nick Watson, 17 of 26 for 239 and 3 touchdowns. Winsler, 26 of 45 for 427 and 4 touchdowns. Did have the 1 interception. Jaquan Hardy lived up to the billing, 24 carries, 194 yards, and a touchdown run. Nate Slagle, 12 carries for 57 yards, a touchdown for him as well. Receiving, Stan Jackson leads the way for the Dragons. He had 5 catches for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. Reuben Flowers, 5 for 163. Marlon Richardson, a couple of touchdown catches. And Slagle added 6 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown as well. It all adds up to a Dragon victory, 52-45. That's going to wrap things up for us. Thanks to UFTV crew, thanks to the Sports Information Department, thanks to the entire athletic department of the University of Findlay, Coach Keys and all of his people. And we thank you for tuning in all season long. And now we're going to wrap it up and pass things off to Jason Granger in Big Rapids. You've been listening to Oiler Football on 88.3 WLFC and UFTV.